Key.
Winging motherfucker.
No, Kitty, you can't have this. You don't want it. It's celery. I bet you want the bacon. That's what it is. Here's your bacon.
Welcome
have
to
bacon.
the stream. Suck my clit.
Okay, and then I have to go not reactive. I want. Where is
My cat just ate my bacon. Oh no. Bro, you're number 1, bitch. That's right. Now who's number 2? Because you suck. Hi. Look, it's me. I'm red. Stop
Guys,
calling me baby. My name is Vivi.
Suck my clit.
I have to break the immersion so hard, guys. It'll be fine. Don't worry.
Should I be smaller? Will that be easier?
I'll fix it. Do not worry.
Okay.
Though if you're smaller, it'll be easier to show more of your model.
Yeah,
Let me go ahead and filter, effect, color key, boom, color key of red. Oh, that looks weird.
Neither
Let me-
BB or PP. You just have to change the similarity thing, I think. That's what I did. That's the only thing I changed was the similarity, and then it was fine. You're using OBS,
Welcome
right?
to the stream.
Yep.
Suck
Mhm.
my clit.
Welcome
Oh,
to
it
Stream
gives you
Fox of
it
Fate.
gives you seafood. It gives you see-through eyes.
I'm literally looking into your soul.
You won't find much there.
Hey, sorry, Rizzo. Yeah, so my work ends like really late on Thursday now. So it's the only time I can do it. I don't
That's-
usually stream at this time. I don't think I'm gonna stream this time next week.
Hold on.
Do you want a tribble from Star Trek? What's a tribble?
Welcome to the stream.
So you
Should
know
I
how
be
we
scared?
said fucking like bunnies, right?
Is that like a
They are
nice old fuck?
they are tiny, cute, like fist-sized balls of fluff. That
Fist size?
in yes, and the characters of Star Trek: The Next Generation ended up trying to adopt some of them as pets, and they didn't realize that they breed worse than rabbits. So eventually, the entirety of the Enterprise was filled to the brim with tribbles. And
I did not know that. That's cute.
I'm not saying that the answer was genocide. However,
But the answer is genocide, clearly.
said it was in original Star Trek. Okay, so it wasn't a Next Generation. It was an original Star Trek. Sorry,
For some reason, your background looks black to me.
because it is. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I was like, is it like
'Cause I-
clear? or something? Okay.
Because I just used the transparency settings
Fluff
for.
balls that multiply exponentially. Raven, thank you so much for the tier 3. Holy shit, thank you. What is a triple episode about spray and neutering your pet?
Would be
I
funny.
mean,
if.
we always neuter and spay like all cats
Welcome
that
to
we
the
see, though, right?
stream. Suck my clit.
Like, I don't think anybody does like. I feel like how are cats like not dying and dying off? Because every time they're always like, you have to spay. Every single pet has to be spayed. No babies.
Because we can't account for all the wildcats.
But they also catch and release them.
They do, but
Yes,
because
Raven, I know.
because
Thank
we
you
can't
so much
account
for
for all
another-
of them, eventually, they still breed.
Apparently, we
Runsurish is
can't
gonna
get rid of
neuter
them.
you.
Yum, yum. Yeah,
There's
give
my-
me your. Give me your hat. I don't even know what it should be in this case, actually. Because you're male, but you're mad.
There we go.
Oh, thank you.
Everything. There should be green now.
Lovely.
It hurts my eyes.
No, maybe we will not be canon. Why are you guys doing this? Because cats are horny and funky fuzzballs? I feel like that's not true. I've known plenty of not horny cats.
Until they go into heat.
Yeah, they're more like a... They don't have sex for pleasure. They have sex because, like, they have, like, this feeling that goes, oh, I have to have sex!
Yep, basically.
Which is very different.
It's I don't think we need to talk about what a male cat's penis looks like.
Oh, it's barbed! It's barbed!
It's barbed. It's barbed so
barbed!
that the female can't escape.
It's so creepy. It is actually super creepy. It's a thing. Maybe we could heal the world. Oh my god, no, no, no. Why do cats breathe so much when their dicks are barbed and they keep screaming? It's an instinct. Like when you're hungry, you go eat. When they're in heat, they have sex.
Yeah.
And I heard that it's not pleasurable for cats.
It's not pleasurable for the female cat, if anything.
Yeah.
They
They just feel like they have to do it.
The barbed dick is there.
Yeah, the barbed pee-pee.
That is it just a horny switch? Basically.
It's like, it's not the same feeling as horny though, because for us, when we feel horny, it's usually pleasurable. It's
well,
not
yeah,
the
we
same kind
are
of
one
thing.
of the few species that breeds for pleasure.
Exactly. Like, because it actually feels good, just like how other things can feel nice.
Like for dolphins are the same way too.
Yeah, exactly. So dolphins can, that's why they rape things.
Yep.
Ta-da! The more you know. Hello, boa noite. Hello, good night. Interesting. Hello, hi,
Well,
Maxie.
So long as we don't get into a detailed discussion about what happens
Sorry,
with
Maxie.
ducks.
I hope you have a good night. Sorry, what'd you say?
But so long as we don't get into a detailed discussion about what happens with ducks.
I don't
'Cause
know
they
anything
have-
about ducks. Don't
they
they have
have-
cloacas?
They have corkscrew dicks.
Wait, what? Are they
Basically,
actually corkscrews?
functionally, they basically like roll up and into the duck and back out, and they're incredibly long.
Ah! Really?
Because the vaginal canal for the female ducks is like a maze that has a bunch of dead ends in it.
Shit. Gayak, thank you so much for rating. We're talking about corkscrew duck gangbangs.
Ninja Comic Society
I hope
says
you
no, not the
enjoy-
ducks.
Corkscrew gangbangs.
Chip, are you okay, buddy? Are you okay, bud? Buckaboo? Come here.
Aww. How's your little pet up?
He is crying because Growlithe is not in the room with him.
Oh.
Growlithe is barking out there, but he's
What a
just
cute
gonna
name.
have to deal.
What do you mean Sudas isn't as say so as you thought? When has Sudas ever been say so?
I have
There's
never
literally never been a time.
no.
I've never known Sudas to ever be. I'm not a just
I have
because-
made far too many cock and ball torture jokes.
Do you remember the fetus cannon? Like, come on.
Yeah. I forgot
The
that was actually
fetus cannon. Wait, are ducks actually necrophiliacs? I didn't know that.
It wouldn't surprise me.
That's creepy.
Firespark says, how do you know that information about ducks? Because I have this terrible plague called curiosity.
Honestly, I can see that. Though. I can see you going, I kind of want to know, even though it's going to hurt me forever.
Like it's a thing where like somebody will mention it in passing on a YouTube video and I'll be like, okay, but really, what is the secret behind that? And then I look at it and I'm like, these are things I'll never be able to unknow. These are things I won't be able to unsee. These are
So true.
terrors. These are terrors that I will be stuck with for the entirety of my life.
Welcome to the stream. Suck my clit.
So crazy. Thank you so much, Crazy Knuckle Girl. 2123. Is that Princess Gumball?
Yeah, I'm putting the hair back up if that's the case.
You're Princess Gumball.
Every
Can I
time
take a
that
bite out of Sudas? Apparently, one of my viewers, Raven, wants to eat you.
Well, let's have a detailed, long conversation about the ethics of vor. Let's go.
No, we're not getting into this. Why are you like this?
Wait, but it's
We
not.
just wanted
You're
to
not
talk
the one who
about
would be
say
getting
so
into
stuff today.
anything.
Oh my god. Ugh,
That's
I
not how
can't.
vor works.
I hate you so much right now. Why are you
That's
like
okay. You can't hate me more than I hate me. Therapy taught me that.
this? Oh my god. Okay. That is a
Yeah,
nice
thanks.
hair transition. I agree. That was a cool hair
Yeah.
transition. I like it.
Suzu did a very good job on this model.
All right, so I'm copying pasting some stuff together. I think what I might do, maybe I'll release it in the middle of the stream because I feel like it's gonna take too long. I think we should just start talking. Let me.
I think I think the best thing would be to wait until you're done snacking and eating.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yesterday, summer about it's summer, and stop. I'm gonna pull it up. I can just see myself like laughing from something and just spraying it everywhere.
There'd be chunks of carrot all over your monitor.
Like literally.
I'm just assuming carrot for some reason.
Let's see. I have celery. It's pretty close.
Firespark says, any more cursed information about animals you want to tell us about? I mean, we already went over the fact that dolphins do non-consensual things.
Oh god, they do.
Actually, fun fact, dolphins can bully the fuck out of sharks.
Wait, what? Why?
Yeah, so because some sharks will prey on dolphins, one of the defense mechanisms dolphins have gotten is literally like swimming under sharks and just headbutting them in the stomach. Like, sharks are terrifying. Sharks get bullied by dolphins. The sharks may be more lethal, but the dolphins are bullies.
I had no idea. I had no idea they were so mean. Oh, TTV
yeah.
kid.
We think dolphins are amazingly cute, and then
I'm not sure you're supposed to put M80s inside of cats. That sounds not safe.
That sounds like an explosion. Don't do that.
It sounds like an explosion.
Dasha
Why
says,
are
I
so
went
many
to say hi to
YouTubers going
Vivi's chat.
vegan? I don't think any of them are going vegan.
There is a contingent, because I know like Hunter Avalone, he went vegan about 3 or 4 months ago. I think it's more in the political sphere that you're seeing more of that, but like outside of that, I don't think there's really a huge movement.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Trace, thank you so much for 10 subs. Oh my god, thank you. Oh my god, thank you. That's 10. Is that Trace?
Welcome to the cum zone.
Should we put you back in the cage? No, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for 10 subbies. Yes! Tor Grizzle got one. Wow,
to be honest, I'd be less scared of a shark than a dolphin. The shark doesn't want to eat me, it's just confused. If the dolphin messes with me, it knows what it's doing!
That's so true. Vindictive little shits.
Yep.
Like, actually, though. Isn't that so freaky? This is why dolphins are scary. Everybody's like, no, dolphins are so sweet and it's so intelligent. No. They're like the meanest animals on Earth besides humans. Because, of course, humans are the worst. If you don't think humans are the worst, then you are the worst.
If you think about all the terrible animals on the planet, think about humans as the one that has learned one skill more than any other type of animal. We've learned to kill each other better and more efficiently than any animal ever has.
True. So
and we've made it a career you can choose.
It's true.
Like,
What have we done?
what has science done? Well, it made bullet. Let me let Chip out real quick so that
Sounds
he does
lovely.
not cause interrupt.
So yeah, today we're gonna be talking about some basics on like streaming and VTubing, because I feel like we haven't really gone over that kind of stuff before, and Sudis, is kind of a veteran. He's been doing this for a long time. Thank you so much, Lunar Alice. Thank you so much for following. Even without saying it, I found whom Sudis is streaming with. Thank you. You're very sweet. Thank you so much. Arthurius, thank you so much for gifting a subby. By the way, I don't know if you guys knows this, but now is the time if you want to do long-term subs. Today is the start of September. The longer you plan ahead and sub for longer months, the more discount you have. I think the biggest discount is 60%. If you sub for like 6 months or something. I might be wrong, but I think it's 60% off if you sub for 6 months.
Oh, snap!
Crazy. Thank you so much for starting Hype Train!
I'm just tired of this discrimination for Dom Timber.
For Dom Timber? Oh, I don't want to talk to you. I just realized what you're talking about. I was taking it so seriously. What? What do you mean? What could it be?
It was a shitpost the whole time.
Literally, though, talking to students is just shitposting back and forth.
You never know when I'm actually being serious.
The thing is, like, you have such a serious tone. It's really hard to tell sometimes, okay?
I feel like
I bet there's other people that feel this way. It can't just be me.
I think actually my partner has said the same thing. I'm pretty sure there was one part where she's just like, I can't tell if you're joking. I don't know if you're joking. Like, I might not know either.
Yeah.
You just say stuff.
Purple Kobold in my chat says, it is often I worry if I annoy Cirrus. So here's the answer. Here's the trick. Purple Kobold.
There's a trick to it?
I turn on my stream perpetually annoyed at the world I find myself in. You can't change that. You can't make it worse, nor better.
I'm gonna move over just so lightly.
Pop up.
Holy shit, I didn't realize it was level 4 already. We're 4% of the way to level 4 hype train. That's crazy. Thank you. And it only started. What happened? What happened to all the other steps?
Staff says, I can. Staff, you don't annoy me. You disappoint me. There's a difference.
That's worse. That's so much worse. Oh, now I'm sad. Now I'm sad. Alright. I think we're good. Alright, I think I am ready.
Give me another 2 or 3 minutes so that I can let the dogs back in a bit. Otherwise...
Well, then I'll stuff my face more. Ah! Come to me, food!
More celery. Is it at least celery with peanut butter, or is it just straight celery? With bacon? Oh, that sounds amazing. That's like crunchy. That's like crunchy for 2 reasons.
Oh, snap!
Mari says, is there a VTuber con? If there is, then I'm sure that nobody shows up because they're all behind their computers.
Right?
Vivi.
I was talking about this.
Guess
Oh
what?
my god. Oh my god,
Guess
this is
what?
500 bits? Thank you! What the
Come
fuck
on,
are you
guys.
rating to me right now?
Like,
Vivi,
don't get me
guess.
wrong. Like,
you
when I
guess
went to too many games, I actually did have
It's
a handful
pretty
of
funny.
people recognize me there.
Okay.
Mainly from my voice.
Very
Which is
funny.
a weird feeling.
Oh my god.
Flash.
That's what happened when me and
Ready?
Raz went on our anniversary last year.
Oh
Okay.
really?
Yeah. So we were down in Savannah, Georgia for our anniversary, and we were out at the beach, and I was like, we had just arrived at the beach in Tybee Island, and me and Raz are walking down to the current, and I just hear from like the right side of me, Cirrus? Like, whomst the fucketh?
Whom's the fucking? I love that.
And just there was one person who's like, yeah, I just recognized your voice. He's just like, yeah, I why hi, and like the conversation itself was
God.
pleasant. It was just one of those things where like there's that immediate panic in your chest where you're like, why does this person know me?
I can't believe they recognize you from your voice. I didn't think your voice would be that recognizable.
I don't either, but it's happened more times than one. And that's the
Maybe
that's,
you're just really famous. Thank you so
Now-
much for a tier 1.
I doubt
you,
that
Anola.
one. Dash, thank you for the
I
100
guess
bits.
you do have definitely a particular way of like phrasing. I feel maybe that's what it is.
It might be more my verbiage than
Yeah.
my voice itself. But it's like it happened there. It happened at too many games, but I expected that one. And it happened at Anime Weekend Atlanta as well.
Really,
it happened-
man. Even at these big ass cons.
It happened a few times at Anime Weekend Atlanta. There was so I was sitting down at a panel that was talking about Evangelion, because I had just finished the series. So I was like, I want to go to this anime panel for this because
we had 12
like
subs
now that I'm a
600
fan of this
bits.
series, I want to be
Hell
around
yeah,
other
get
fans
those
of
level
this
3
series.
emotes.
And just this one person sits next to the group that is me, Raz, a guest we had in our house at the time, and the poly partner we had at the time. And they just like, they look at me and go, "Are you Cirrus?" At least at this time, I used face cam more often back then. Now I do it every now and again as a meme.
Okay,
so
okay.
at least for that one, it wasn't like
so
somebody
it might be
listening to
for
my
face.
voice.
That's
Yeah,
a little different.
it was a little different for that one, but I know the one at Tybee Island was from voice, and that was the part that freaked me out the most. Silly Shinobi, thank you so much for the raid. How was your stream?
Let's go! Raid!
Let me go ahead and give you a shout out real quick. Silly_Shinobi. What were you doing? It looks like you were playing Saints Row. Were you beating people to death with purple dildos? Because that is the objectively correct way to play that game.
That's the only way to play, clearly. And it has to be purple.
It must
Don't
be.
give me that black bullshit. That BBC stereotypical basic bitch stuff. No.
BBC stands for basic bitch cock.
I need to write that down somewhere.
All right, let me let the doggos in real quick.
I'm good. Alright. Last few bits of food to stuff in my face.
Oh, looks like you're too poor. Point and laugh at the poor person. He's literally poor.
Oh man, I'm so hungry. That was good. That was good food. Woo!
There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Vivi and Neko.
No, that is not how you eat pussy. You eat pussy by doing
It's so
lick.
tiny. How am I gonna find it in this fucking room? Come to bring us sugar and
I'm a pussy!
One day when the
I like
time is
that.
done, we'll take our
Well,
Katini says that they got taco truck tacos. Damn it! I want taco truck tacos.
Ooh, taco truck taco.
Oh, snap.
I'm not a bird!
Some of the best food you can have is from a truck. I swear.
Food truck food is both. That's like its own delicacy.
It's generally so unhealthy, but it's
It is.
fine because it tastes so good.
Delicious. Hopscotch wants a taco.
Well, too bad.
No taco for you. That's right. Only good people get tacos, and you're bad. You're a bad person, so you get to not have a taco.
I keep hearing bumps on plastic, and I think it's Thumper trying to tell me something, but I can't find him.
Your
So whatever,
Is it
my,
your...
my bunny.
Yeah, but
is
is
my
it
bunny.
like the... the very horny bunny?
We only have the one bunny, so
We
yeah.
only have horny bunnies.
Like, we
Alex,
have
thank you so much for 5 baby.
we have 2 dogs,
Oh, wait, did
6
Tip
cats,
stop?
and 1
Tip's not
bunny.
right.
Welcome to the stream.
That people have more fun. I guess so. Alright guys, during this talk, we aren't going to be answering you... at least I won't be. Answering you guys as much unless it's incredibly relevant to what we're talking about. Just giving you a heads up now. So, over the next, let's say, hour and a half? 2 hours? Something like that?
Sure, should be around about
Something like that.
roundabout sort of amount of time.
An hour and a half.
Let's say an hour and a half. We're going to be talking about some things that we have learned along the way. Actually, probably not me. Just mostly Sudis, because Sudis is a veteran of streamling and
are
content
you?
creation at this time.
Don't lie, you are too.
You are so sweet. Thank you. I feel like I know very little, but I will say random shit anyway.
Like fiends.
We're gonna talk about some basic things about what kind of things you should keep in mind if you want to be a streamer, and specifics about VTubing that you should keep in mind. And also, we're gonna provide a list of very useful links, and we're gonna release this probably sometime after the stream is over. I'm gonna compile everything as we go through all the stuff. So that you guys have a little guide that you guys can go through everything.
Pipe scotch.
He's
Oh my
literally poor.
Wow, you guys can't stay quiet for 2 seconds, huh? I see
We
how it
can't.
is.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's
you need
fine.
to keep your chat in mind. You gotta do that.
It's so tiny. How am I
gotta-
gonna find it in this fucking room?
My chat's far too horny for whips.
Oh no! Oh, that's right. I probably shouldn't whip. Oh god! Oh god! What have I done?
I know better.
Oh no! Please don't take that the wrong way aesthetically, Sanu.
There once was a ship that put to
I didn't say
sea.
anything
The
about
name of the
Femboy
ship
Milk.
was
What?
Vivi and Neko.
What the fuck?
Roll it down, blow my Billy Boy's blow.
Why is your chat?
So made hype scotch come. The brain
Like, I
was
think,
sugar
like, my
and
chat is
taste of
degenerate,
plum.
and then I look at your
One
chat.
day when the time
Yeah.
is done,
Like, what?
we'll
Yeah.
take our leave and go.
I've curated the worst of Twitch degeneracy all into a single place.
Of course you did. All right, everybody. So, just a brief outline of
Welcome
what
to the
we're
stream.
going to be
Suck
talking
my
about
clit.
today. Thank you so much for following Bashanavis. We're going to be talking about like how to kind of pick your thing. Cuz you probably what are you doing? Why are you like what is happening?
What?
Are you cunnilingus-ing the air right now? What is
No. So when I tilt my head to the left too much, sometimes my tracking makes my mouth just go.
Wait. No, you can't use that as an excuse. You were actively
can.
tonguing. He was clearly tonguing the femboy milk you guys were talking about. Don't stick your tongue out now. Oh my god, I can't. Oh my god. Sorry, I don't know why the tits thingy isn't working. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's because it broke. That's why.
Everything is broken.
Why does this happen? Does tits ever break for you too? I feel like it breaks really often for me.
What is tits?
Oh, wait, you know? Oh wait, do you
It's
know
so
tits?
tiny. How am I gonna find it in this
Tits is
fucking
the thing
room?
where they can throw stuff at you.
Oh no, I don't have that actually.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Why did I do this to myself?
Welcome
professional
to the
doesn't have-
Come Zone.
Why do you have to be mad?
I'm the farthest thing from a professional you can get. I stumbled into this randomly.
You say that, but I don't know if you guys know. Am I allowed to say about like that you do this like? Okay, I'm
What,
just gonna
like,
say
full
you
time?
do this as a job. Like this is your
Yeah.
job, and you like earn money from it.
It's been my full time
Yeah.
thing for like
Like it is
3-4
full-time
years?
job. Exactly. For
But
students. So like
still.
clearly something is working.
and it was all accidental and stumbling, every bit of it.
I hate all of you. Don't tickle me. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna be talking oh my god. I feel it takes so long just to like go through a general outline of the why is it like this? Guys, stop it! Excuse me.
We're gonna be talking about picking your themes, about what you're gonna be streaming about,
And then we're gonna talk about thinking about what you can do with what you have, right?
Nerd.
So like your budgeting, how much money you have, how you're gonna judge whether or not something is good for you that you're doing versus bad for you doing
not a
that you're
bird!
doing in terms of money. We're also gonna be talking about like some basics of like VTubing, like picking how you want to be portrayed. One of the big forking decisions is figuring out if you're gonna be PNG forever
Alright,
or
sir, I just need
you're
to
gonna
check inside
gradually
your-
move on to like a 2D model or like a 3D model. And some other things like we're gonna go through some basic equipment. I think this is probably gonna be the most useful part. It's gonna be that we're gonna have a list of links to a lot of stuff that you guys can use that Sudis has used or I have used before. That we think would be good starting equipment or high-end equipment that you guys can use for streaming or for VTubing, and also software for those things as well, especially for VTubing since VTubing is such a software-centered thing. And of course, there's also different types of streaming that you can do that we're gonna talk about as well. And of course, the most important question in my opinion, we're gonna just end on that is whether or not you're doing this as a hobby or a career. I think that's like a very, very big decision. Sometimes you make it like halfway through while you're trying stuff out. Okay, so we're gonna take it away from the first topic. First topic is gonna be about style. What kind of streamer will you be? All right, Sudis, what can you tell us about how you picked or like how you would suggest someone else to pick their style of streaming?
So the first and most important thing with that is figure out what you're passionate about. I know that sounds like a really default, like boring answer, but it's true. And my reasoning is as such. If you decide you want to do a type of stream that you're not going to be enthusiastic about in 2 or 3 years, then congratulations, you found your cutoff point for streaming. You just figured out how long you're going to stream, how long this journey is going to be for you. You did it.
Yep.
Like for me, I had a lot of people asking me at one point if I was going to make a Nerf gun channel because I started collecting those, when COVID got bad. And I realize now that all of that was a hyperfixation for me. A lot of it was brought on from, the pandemic coming in. So had I made a channel about Nerf gun stuff, I would have been passionate about it for a grand old 6 months. And then we'd be here, and I would have nothing to show for it because I would be unenthusiastic about what I was doing, and then I would not be doing it anymore for passion. And the minute that you're not passionate about the thing you're talking about, your audience can tell. They know.
Oh, it's very... Yeah, I agree. It's so obvious. When
you start going on autopilot, they know.
People drop off like flies.
Yeah. So, like, for me, I know that philosophy was something that I was really passionate about. And that was something that could branch out into multiple things. For me, it branched out into talking about politics, religion, ethics. And that's even spilled out into video game discussions where I'd be like, oh shit, I am enthusiastic about philosophy. I made a video about the pragmatic philosophy of Darth Bane from the Star Wars books. And then did a video on egoism as it related to Darth Plagueis. So that passion bled into other things and allowed me to do other topics. But that first one that I had been interested in for years needed to be there first. So think about the thing you are most interested in. Could you see yourself talking about that for the next 4 or 5 years? Let's say it's building computers. Could you talk about new computer hardware for the next 5 years? Would that be something that you care about? If so, congratulations. You've figured out a thing you can stream about, a thing you can make content on. That is... And making sure, again, that it's something that you can do for a long period of time. Not just something that you're going to like a little bit.
I need to say, though, I don't know. I've never thought of Sonic as something you would do for many years, yet you have a channel dedicated to Sonic stuff.
And that comes from the fact that I've been passionate about that character and universe for the past... since I was 12. So...
I find that so crazy. Because to me, it's such a small thing. But hey... If it's that's something I think that should be very important that you guys should take into consideration. So there's not it should be something that you personally can talk about for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Think about that. It doesn't have to be a big thing that there's a lot of topics that you can talk about, I guess. It's more about can you talk about it for a while? So that's the base requirement.
Can you find interesting ways?
Yes.
To talk about that, if we're talking about the Sonic thing, for instance, the first thing you think about with Sonic is it's a video game. You can do video game reviews. That's the first layer of things you can talk about. But there's only so many Sonic games.
Yep.
So what else could you do? Well, you could do character analysis, but there's only so many characters. Eventually, that well will run dry as well. So you can also do what if stories, like in Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog dies, and in Heroes he comes back. What if Shadow stayed dead? Now you've got a billion videos you can make based off of what if scenarios on if certain things in the stories had changed. But then you get to thinking
Kira has suggested Sonic Smash or Pass if you haven't done that
yet. The answer is Rouge of the Bat, yes. But
okay.
But then you start thinking of wait, hold on. If you're really passionate about this, you probably read the IDW comics for Sonic because that's where most of the new lore for that character comes out. But there's a lot of people who know what Sonic is and don't care about comics. They don't read them at all. And a lot of people just don't read comics. So congratulations. Now you've got another set of videos you can make. You can talk about the comics because there are people who are well, I don't want to read the comics, but I'll click on a video.
Listen to someone talking about it.
But I'll listen to someone talking about it.
Yeah.
My friend Nick, Game Apologist, he actually does an entire series called Sonic Speed Reading because of exactly that. There are people who don't want to pick up the comics, but they want to listen to the stories.
Right.
And that's their he's their avenue for doing that. So, and then you think, well, hold on. there's so many characters that are in the comics. You could even do character dissections of those. And now you see, like, we started off with something that could at max be about 30 videos, and we've blossomed into about 1,000 potential video topics based on amount of media there is out there and the ways that you can talk about it. Like, that's why you need to be passionate about something, because if you're not passionate about a thing, then you're not going to know about those other avenues there are to talk about.
There is one thing that Davidia has brought up in the chat that I think is actually very, very important that we should talk about. Okay, so she mentioned that, like, when you first start out, you gotta stick with one thing, though. Then you can branch out, because, like, maybe, like, nobody will be interested in something, right? You need to pick a thing that's popular. So, like, don't forget, this is not about what makes good content. This is about what makes content.
This is about what makes content, period.
Yeah,
like,
this is just about making content in general. So, like, you need to be able... So that's a base requirement, I would say, for a streamer is... Even if nobody watches you, you have to be able to, like, consistently produce content. You have to be able to talk. You have to be able to consistently produce content, no matter what. So, like, that is the base requirement. That's what we're talking about right now. Which is very different than, like, trying to find your niche, which is the next part.
Yeah, finding your niche is something that you discover later, but, like, the baseline is learning how to be a content creator. Yes. And figuring that out is starting out by going, there's a thing I care about. I have something to say about it. Another thing that's very important, if you're worried that somebody else has made the type of video you want to make, somebody else has done the idea that you have, forget about it. Forget about that mentality. Guess what? Nobody has original ideas. Not one damn person on the planet.
That's true.
3 people can make a video about the first 10 issues of Ditko's Spider-Man, and those will end up being 3 completely different videos. Despite the fact that they're about the exact same thing, they're going to have different interpretations of that character, that writer, and those stories. And guess what? There are people who are going to be drawn to one type of video over another. You never know if you're going to become someone's comfort content creator. There's no way to figure that out unless you just start doing it.
I always say this too. Exactly. If you want to be a content creator, like, I know so many people, they're like, oh, I wish I was, like, famous. I wish I did this. I wish I did that. Like, go do it. Like, literally, one of the most important parts, because it's a marathon. It's not like a sprint. You need to be able to keep doing it consistently over and over and over again. Like, I think one of the hardest things is having, like, a stream schedule or, like, a content creation schedule, and, like, making sure you do the work to... Sorry, your boobs just... Okay.
I had to pop my neck. I had to pop my neck so the boobs go with it.
Sorry, I got distracted by booba. I don't remember what I was saying anymore. I got so distracted.
Vivi, why are you on my Neko Cirrus channel?
Oh wait, no, you found out what I was showing. No, I wanted to show them this. I didn't want to say anything to you. I was wondering if you were gonna find out. That's what I was like. Yeah, so this I was pointing at it and making faces.
Yes, Neko Cirrus is my my secondary channel where I talk about Sonic and gaming stuff.
Oh my god. So yeah, like I said. Oh my god. Yeah. This is it's like it's a good thing to stream with you, but also bad for these things. It gets so distracting. I feel like it's so easy for us to get off topic.
These things?
No! That's not what I meant! No, guys! Sudas is exposing himself to me! I can't do this! I can't work. This is
you can't work in this environment.
Oh god. So yeah, anyway. Ow! Fuck! Thank you so much for tan beauties. Yeah, definitely I think consistency is actually very difficult. Like, I think a lot of people find trouble. And you can tell because you see some people consistently stream for like a month and then they die. Because I've known a lot of people who, like, you know, tried streaming and stuff, right? And a lot of people do it like very casually. And it turns into like they stream, like they're really passionate about it for like a month. And then they like fall off the face of the earth. And they like maybe stream once every like 2 months or something after that.
Yeah,
it's actually very hard to keep
that hyperfixation.
Hyperfixation.
Like you get hyperfixated on streaming, it becomes your passion, and then it dissipates. That's like every single neurodivergent person in my audience can hear passionate about for 3 months and then fell off face of earth and they go, oh god, it's me. Because that was me with freaking Nerf guns. So it's like, this is amazing.
Yeah, there's always stuff like this.
Yeah.
So that's what you want to make sure is, do you have the stamina? So that's one of the things, right? One of the base requirements. You need to be able to make a lot of content, and you also need to be able to do it consistently. Like, put in the work for it. Honestly, putting in the work is not easy. Okay, so next, I think we were talking about how do we actually niche down? How do we get down to a point where people actually want to see your shit?
So when you're niching down, this is a mistake that a lot of people make. A lot of people try niching down when they begin. This is the whole, like, trying to do something nobody else has done. I've got an amazing streaming idea that nobody's done before. Imagine it! And then they fixate on that for 3 or 4 years, and then they never actually do anything. I don't know how many times you've probably had the conversation with somebody where they go, I've wanted to try doing YouTube, and I have this idea, but, and then that's it. They flatline.
No, yep.
So, here's the thing. This is why content creation is first. You make something you're passionate about, no matter what it is. Accept that what you make is going to be garbage. And accept that in 5 years, you're going to look back at the content you made and go, wow, I was garbage. You accept that to begin with. And then...
I'm a garbage person.
That's not what I meant.
Sorry, keep going.
You're not a garbage gremlin. You're a dragon. But...
I love you.
But
okay.
niching down, you too. Niching down is, once you've got that content made, you've got a backlog of things you've done, whether it be, we're talking specifically about streaming, but this is whether it be artwork, animation, editing, anything at all. You've got a backlog of things you can look at, and then you can go, which of these would I deem a success? Which of these were either received well enough by an audience, or I feel that did personally well enough that I wouldn't mind doing more of that thing. So when I first started doing YouTube at all, I made a channel called State of Gaming. This was when I was in high school. I was like 17, maybe 16 even. And my whole thing was like... My whole thing was I wanted to talk about the gaming industry, problems I had with it, and specifically I wanted to go to bat for defense for the Nintendo Wii, because if none of you were part of, like, console war shenanigans at the time, the Wii was considered, like, the garbage console in the competitive scene. Like, everybody wanted a PS3, everybody wanted an Xbox 360, but everybody had a Wii, and they had Wii Sports and Zelda, and that was it. And, like... When somebody said that they didn't like the Wii, you'd immediately freak out and go, which games do you have for it? I wanted to do a channel like that, and then I realized I was very lazy when it came to editing. And
there it is.
I couldn't keep my motivation for making more content like that, because it was a thing that I loved talking about, but it was a thing that I didn't like making content about.
Right.
And live streaming didn't exist back then. We had Justin.tv, which became
oh my god, yes,
eventually.
that was what it was called before.
But like that wasn't a big thing. That was like a hyper niche thing that only some people did. Yeah, nobody knew what streaming was at the time.
I used it to watch free movies.
So, because the environment didn't allow the type of content that I make now, I ended up abandoning that project and just leaving it be. A few years later, I started another channel called Top Tier Scrubs, and I started it with a friend of mine as a podcasting channel, and then that person ended up not showing up to podcasts after 3 episodes. So then I started making standalone content on the channel, and then my enthusiasm for Hearthstone died, because this is what hyperfixations do. I didn't know how to identify them at the time. So I ended up abandoning that channel as well. I took the avatar from that channel and used it for my current one later, though, years later. But point is, niching down is looking at all of those abandoned projects and going, which of those did I like and why did I like it? Which of those succeeded? Why am I calling those a success? And then picking one and going with it. Eventually, when I started talking about philosophy more, that stuff was stuff that I was able to make content about more easily. And it was something that there was always more to talk about. I mean, if you've ever sat down and read even a single page from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, it's a headache, and B, it takes you forever because the language is dry and boring. But
you can make it out fun.
But because it's dry and boring, there are people who don't want to read 12-page dissertation. Well, not even that. Not even Plato's Republic. That's more entertaining than this shit.
Just the academic papers on it.
Academic papers on morality are boring, but you can make content on it and make it entertaining because there are people who don't want to read it. And then you can take that paper, put it in your description and go, hey, if you disagree with what I said, go ahead and read this paper that I'm talking about, and we can have a conversation in the comment section. Guess what? Now you've got engagement.
It's true.
So, niching down was me figuring out, okay, of all the content I've tried to make in the past, and this took 10, 12 years, mind. This is not a quick thing. This was me looking at 10 years of trying to make stuff on YouTube and going, what of these did I like doing the most? What of these could I see myself doing for the next few years?
Yeah.
It was the philosophy content. That's what I ended up sticking with. You've got to first make all of the garbage content that you don't end up liking before you can look at something and go, yeah, I liked making that.
It's because nobody can tell.
Okay, so I think a lot of people go in with this idea that oh yeah, I'll know everything about stuff because I had such a big grand plan for my stream. It never works that way.
No, it doesn't.
Never works that way. I came in at first, I thought I was gonna be some singer VTuber or something with that did consistent covers, and I realized I'm a lazy fucking ass and I can't make any covers because it takes so much time to mix and do all this other shit. And then I was like, all right, I'm just gonna sit here and play games, and I realized I'm really bad at games. I am so bad at video games. But then it turned out that I just start you talk before you play your games. Those are the parts that were always the most popular, and I was like, oh, okay. Maybe I'll just talk, apparently. People like it when I open my mouth and then say things instead of stare at the screen and go, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I learned kind of the similar thing, and you can see it reflected in your numbers too, right? When I go live and I stream talking about topics, things that are topical, philosophy, when I'm making videos, basically, I tend to get a lot more viewers than when I'm just gaming because I have more to say about those topics. Whereas when I'm just sitting down and playing Resident Evil 4, I don't have much more to add to that aside from hey, here's this thing that they nixed from the PlayStation 2 version of this game that was added back in the Wii version that is buggy as hell in the PC release because Capcom doesn't know how to release a goddamn game. Sorry,
I'm not sure if that was exactly the point, but okay. I can feel this anger brewing inside of you.
I have had my controller glitch out on me so many times in Resident Evil 4 PC. You have no idea. Anyway, point is, you'll be able to tell the things people want to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to strike a balance between doing content that you know is received well and doing content you personally want to make. Because if you just make the content,
that's both. Yeah.
My friend Wayne, who's actually in the chat right now on my chat, he's one of the co-hosts for the Sunset City show that we talk about Sonic on Fridays.
Oh, that thing.
But he said, so he's also a YouTuber, and he said success grown from trying to make everyone else happy is hollow. Do what you love, work with passion. If you're going to pour your heart into something, make it something your heart already cares about. Make your work reflect your soul, and the effort will have been worthwhile. And that's a true statement. You have to take that, and you have to juxtapose it with what is working in terms of what is making an audience happy. Mm-hmm. Find your middle ground between those, but if you have to choose between making yourself happy or your audience happy, always choose you.
Yep.
People will be
Otherwise,
in,
you build resentment, and then you die, and then the stream is bad. It's a bad circle.
and then you die.
You
You die.
You literally die.
You'll
But
die.
like you'll as you're niching down, don't fall into the trap of going, this was really successful. I'm going to do this again for the rest of my life. And then 3 years later, you go, I hate every decision I've made that's led me here. Like, with my content, I may get to those points with my mental health sometimes where I'm like, this shit's really taxing to talk about. I can't turn on that stream again today. But when that happens, I can just turn on and do gaming for a little bit. And I've hopefully cultivated an audience that recognizes that sometimes the things you talk about are hard. So you're going to do some Pokemon that day or some Resident Evil, or you're just going to play Fortnite for 13 hours. Like, who knows? But like never make the conscious decision to stop making yourself happy. Don't.
Like, don't be like, oh, I hate this, but everybody loves it when I do this. You know, like, don't let that get to you. If there's something that actually bothers you, it's your stream. Don't forget. If you continue this way, you're just gonna have to do more of what you don't like.
Yeah.
Who wants that?
You'll
I feel like one
need
of
to
the best
find
things about being a VTuber and like your own small business owner is you do whatever the fuck you want.
You do. And, you know, sometimes the things you do are going to be failures, and that's fine. Not everything on Twitch is the race to affiliate or the race to partner. Not everything on YouTube is a race to monetization. You got to remember, if you're starting out as a VTuber, as a streamer, in most scenarios, you probably have a job already.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look to this, and we'll talk about this more when we get to the next the larger point at the end. But don't look at streaming as this is a thing that I can do instead of my work. No, this is a hobby to begin with. And the decisions you make, this is why some of those decisions about what you like doing when you're niching down are so important. If you start doing things because of audience reception, when this isn't even a career yet, you're just harming your mental health.
Yeah.
And you're not gaining anything for it.
Honestly, I do think this is like a really good trial period when you're just starting out and stuff like that. Seeing if you have the stamina to even do streaming and like trying to find like your audience. Like, besides that is also like the big thing of, hey, is this something that you enjoy? Would you do it even if nobody watches you? Like, what's the point of tour? I feel like this is like the biggest thing. I always tell people this when they're like starting streaming and stuff, because I feel like there's some people that might do it for the wrong reasons. I've heard many people, especially small people when we've just started. Hi, John loves anime. By the way, they also do interview stuff. And they say that they want to do it because they wanted to make friends. And I think it's because a lot of people started during the pandemic. They didn't really have a lot of contact. And then they just thought like, well, this is the only way I can like socialize with people, I guess. But then like they spend money on this thing, and then like they get sad when nobody comes to their streams, or they make fake friends. It's actually not the easiest way to make friends. I'm gonna say that right now. If you just want to make friends, like go and make friends at a club or something.
Streaming is not a good way to make friends.
It's not a good way to make friends.
I say that as somebody who has made a lot of friends through streaming, but I've also been embroiled in random ass drama because of streaming. I've been backstabbed because of streaming, and I've been clout chased because of streaming. I've had people literally like, and this is a thing that's happened sometimes on my stream, where like I'll be about to end stream and I'm looking for somebody to raid, and I've got a group of people that I raid. Generally speaking, I'm not going to list off the list people who are part of my stream. They know the people I generally raid, but then there are people who are like, "Oh my god, you're ending stream. I'm going to start my stream up right now and ask for raid." Like, okay, stop.
Don't be like that. Don't do that, like, guys. It's cringy.
That feels bad. It kind of makes you feel used.
It does.
And the thing is, if you start doing streaming and you start becoming successful at streaming, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to try to use you. So while you're looking for friends, they might be looking for clout. And that's why we have this concept called the parasocial relationship, where for the most part, if you're in the stream, awesome. Glad you're there. But don't try to be best friends with the streamer. And if you're the streamer, don't try to be best friends with everybody as well.
Yeah.
You don't know everyone's intentions. You don't know where things can lead.
It's actually quite scary. Don't do it.
It can be. Like
It can be really scary.
I've gotten death threats in emails. I've had videos made of me where people have taken pictures of my face and put it on a target practice dummy and fired at it repeatedly with their child watching. Like,
dude, that's fucked.
You will find yourself embroiled in so much shit if you go into here just to socialize. Don't. There's lots of avenues to just make friends. There's MMOs that exist. There's tons of online games.
Do something more casual than like streaming and chasing clout shit. Don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, don't sleep, like Soccer in my chat said, don't sleep with / sext and give IRL data to viewers. Yeah, no, I've had the experience of having like somebody asking about me in like the local card shops that I play at, and it's a very uncomfortable feeling. So like don't go into this trying to find friends. You may find friends through doing it, but that is circumstantial. That is not the goal.
Exactly. You have to have it very clear in your head, or you're gonna be really, really sad. Like, I swear to God, like, you're gonna go through so much emotional sadness if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, and if there are better ways to get at what you want. Like, I've also seen other people, it's not just that, right? It's like, there's also people who think popularity means love, and then that's the only way they can feel good about themselves. Like, there are a lot of other ways to feel good about yourself than, like, from being popular with people online. And even then, I'm pretty sure most of them would not be happy from just that. Like, parasocial works both ways, right? You can't, like, substitute all, like, true relationship feelings and love and friendship. Like, you can't replace all that with just, like, your parasocial relationships. Parasocial relationships are okay if, like, you have it in moderation, right? But you can't just have junk food relationships. You need real ones too. Yes, you can like have a lot of junk food, but you need real ones. You need real food.
Wayne in my chat pointed out I found some pretty alright friends along the way. I did too. You're one of them.
That's true, yeah.
Like
you definitely could find a lot of really, really great friends. I know people who have dated because of this. I know people who have gotten engaged and married from this. Like, there are a lot of things that you can develop. It's just, remember that it don't expect it. Don't go into it looking like it's like a dating scene or like a friend-making scene, because it's just not the friendliest place for that.
No, it's not. And if you talk with other people who are established in their communities, who have done a lot to get themselves where they are, if you start perusing after them in a parasocial way and start trying to move that needle, that's gonna be a red flag. So, and that doesn't just work if you're a viewer and they're a streamer. If you're a smaller streamer chasing after that larger streamer, or even the other way around, if you're a larger streamer that seems like they're trying to poach a smaller streamer, it works all of those ways. Like, you've got to tread.
It's harmful all the ways.
You have to tread very, very carefully. Like,
be
me and Vivi,
about intentions.
We talked mostly via email in the beginning, and it was very business. In the beginning. Or like me and
that. I submitted like this formal, like, I watched your stream. I thought it was very interesting. It was very thought-provoking. I would love to do a collab with you, please. Here is my information. This is one of my linkies. This is another one. Here's a third one. If you want to check a third one, please respond. Thank you.
So, like, it is, look at it as a hobby and a business first, not as a social plaza to make friends, because you don't know the types of people you are going to interact with. But I think that's gotten us tangentially off of niching down just a little bit.
All right, I think we went to the like a side note of like mental health things to think about. Mental health considerations. I'm adding it to the outline. Okay. All right, after this, let's talk about some things that are more practical. Okay, money. Money is very, very important with these kinds of things because you can very easily spend a shit ton of money on something that's not worth it, especially with things related to streaming and VTubing especially. I think VTubing can be super, super, super expensive. And it's important to figure out where you want to go with it and how much you can spend on stuff. It's too easy. It really is. It's too easy to spend too much money on shit. There are also a lot of ways to do things for free. So yeah, Sudis is going to tell us a little bit about just general stuff about what it means to have a something come back to you as a return versus something that is like a loss. Just so you guys can have a general idea of what it means to like budget something for your stream.
So if we're talking about budgets, the first thing we got to think about is something that's called a return on investment. Now, I know that there's going to be people in my audience that are like, "Serious, I thought you were a socialist. Why are you talking about money?" Shut up. We all have to operate under the same system right now, so we have to talk about ROI. If you are...
ROI for return on investment, by the way.
Yes.
Just so you guys know.
Basic,
okay, go ahead.
Basic economics. So if you are wanting to do streaming, let's say that you have, like, you're just now starting out. So you go, I'm going to go buy an iPhone. That's a new one is going to cost you about $1,000. We have a link for used and refurbished ones that we'll have showing later. But let's say you go and you try to get a new one, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to buy a model. I'm going to get the best model I can. Some live 2D models can run you $2,000. Yeah. So you spend $2,000 on that incredibly robust live 2D model, and then you go, okay, now I need all of the best scene transitions for everything. So then you go to... You go and find the best scene transitions you can. You get them custom made for your character and your aesthetic. Takes you like $300 because that's a lot of time, as opposed to going to my friend Freya Amari's Coffee where she offers them all for free. That's a fun plug there that you can use. But point is, I've listed just a handful of things. I haven't even talked about software. You might end up spending money on a Stream Element subscription, and then you start like dumping money on a huge gaming rig. Now we're talking about like you've spent $10,000 now, and you're starting out. You start your stream, you click the button, you're like, I'm gonna play the newest and greatest game. So there's another $60 you spend on it, and you pop in that game, you go live, and you get an audience of 0.
Yeah, now what?
and then next week you have an audience of 0. A month later, your audience is still 0. And here's where you've realized there's a problem. You're walking into a very saturated environment. Twitch, everybody can stream. Anyone can be a streamer. That's the beauty and also the curse of something like Twitch. Captain Unitas, thank you for the follow. But you have to think about return on investment. If you're looking at this as a hobby, then spend all the money you want on it as a hobby. Like, if you're really passionate about VTuber models and the craft behind making them, and you really like supporting artists, you literally want to be a patron of the arts, but in modern anime weeb style, then sure, you can do that, but you need to look at this through the lens of the return on investment is the personal gratification you're getting. If you were doing all of this so that you could get those viewers, and then you get your stream of 0 viewers,
if it's still worth it to you because it made you happy, then maybe it is worth it.
But
it depends on what you think is worth it.
But if you start this entire journey because you want a lot of viewers, and then you don't get any viewers,
then what?
Then what do you do? Like, I have seen people with phenomenal VTube models who only stream for an audience of 10. And I've seen people with I've seen people who are PNG tubers, literally like a tiny gremlinized drawing of an idea of a person, and that's their model, quote, and they get 200, 300, 400 viewers. like the amount of money you put into this will not necessarily dictate the amount of money you get back or the amount of viewers or anything like that. So when we get into the equipment area, I've specifically made sure that there is an avenue of doing this borderline for free in our equipment section. Because
Sorry, I stupid. Says, doesn't matter how much money you spend on lipstick if you still put it on a pig.
Captain, thank you very much for the 10 bits.
Oh my god.
What
do you mean that's why I threw out all my lipstick? Go away! Oh my god. You are the Sorry, keep going.
Look. You don't need lipstick. You're probably cute anyway. But I say this knowing that there's too much gremlin energy over there. I lied.
I don't know what you're talking about. Only very say-so dragon here.
Only very say-so dragon.
Clearly.
But so when we're looking at return on investment, if you're looking at it purely monetarily, you don't put in money until you're getting money out already. Because you can do VTubing basically for free. Like, you can do PNG tubing, and that can be as free as how much it costs you to buy a pencil and a pen and the camera you have on your phone. Like, that's all you need to do PNG tubing.
Honestly, the barrier to streaming is very low.
It is. Like,
it is super low. You can get on there today with no panels, no things. Ow! Fuck! Oh, I didn't say anything wrong. You know I'm right. Why are you hitting me?
But yeah, you can start streaming for little to no money.
Mm-hmm.
So don't go into it if you're looking at streaming as a thing you want to do as a career at some point. Then you need to start looking at it as a business, and a business does not throw a bunch of money at something with no guarantee that they're going to get a return on that investment. So you need to do the same thing. If you're getting 3 viewers per stream and those viewers are giving you 10 bits here and there and maybe a sub once or twice, then guess what? Those 3 are probably the most important people in the entire world, and they have chosen greatly by picking you. But that's not enough to do this as a job. And if you start spending, like, you earn $5 a stream, maybe, and you start spending $100 on a model, and like, I'm sorry.
Don't work, baby.
The numbers are not in your favor at that point. You need to spend from what you make, not spend money to make. Like the constant refrain we hear.
Oh.
The constant refrain we've heard like for years is you have to spend money to make money.
It's so not true.
It's not true when it comes to VTubing. Because when it comes to VTubing, equipment that you already have lying around, like if you've got an old laptop, guess what? You can use that for streaming.
Yep.
You can turn on a Discord call, set up a React image on Discord Reactive so that you can have a PNG model, and then you can play a game like RuneScape that does not eat a lot of resources. And guess what? Now you're streaming. It can be on an old junker, but now you're streaming. You're doing it.
I think this comes from a place of also you need to figure out how much money you have. I know too many people that start doing this stuff and like they don't even know how much they can spend on things. This is what the budgeting part. You need to know how much money you have. Be like, hey, I need to set aside how much money. How will I get that money? Don't just randomly go like, all right, I think 1,000 is fine. Like, don't just pick something. Like, figure it out.
Office.
Look at your fucking bank accounts, okay?
Go and download Open Office.
There we go.
Use its equivalent of Microsoft Excel, because it's free, and we're here about making things as free as possible. Put in the amount of money that you make in a month. Put in all of your monthly expenses, and whatever number is left over, you still have to buy food, motherfucker. Don't forget that. Don't forget about the food. And if you've only got $5 after that, guess what? You're not saving that amount of money to slowly build up a model. That's not realistic. Which is why later we will talk about ways to do this for free so that you don't have to make that decision. Stop spending money you don't have.
Oh my god. I do see this a lot though. I've seen people who ask for donations for their model and then also don't have, like, sorry, for food, and then they use it for like model stuff or something. I mean, you see that, right? Like where they're like,
this is a reason why, and my chat can attest to this. When I've done like subathons for various bills that needed to get paid, I'll show as much of the bill as I can on screen and just be like, "Hey guys, the bill was paid," and then throw it back off, as just like your money went to where it was supposed to, and now we are done. Like I'm gonna take pictures of the washer and dryer we get whenever we are able to finally go and get them to be like, "Hey, subathon money went to this.
this is what you guys
Be
did
good."
for us. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was thinking exactly that. I remember because you were telling me how you're like doing it for different bills and stuff. So I also thought about for my subathon, I was like, all right, this is specifically, I'm setting it aside for my next model. It's gonna be a big business expense, and this would really help out. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it for a very specific thing, and everybody will be able to see it when it's done.
Yeah, like be on like once you have an audience, be honest about where your money is going to go. Like my
Don't
audience
be that
knows,
meanie, yeah.
like my audience knows that money that comes to me is going to go straight to Magic the Gathering. I have no shame.
It's so true though. I feel like a lot of times when I talk to you when you're like on quote unquote vacation, is you probably playing Magic the Gathering somewhere.
Look. I'm not saying
Not even denying it. Look at that. Look at that.
I'm not saying that we're going to have well actually I am saying this. We're going to have community Magic days on my stream. And you have an invite to come at any point.
That's very lovely. I don't know how to play.
We can
Also,
teach
I
you how
heard
to
I need
play.
to collect lots of cards and pay lots of money consistently to get lots of cards.
Nope. That actually is not true.
Wait, is that not the case anymore? I
So
remember, like, when I was little and, like, all the people were playing Magic, they were, like, they have, like, these big boxes of, like, all their Magic cards, and they need to go out and buy more all the time to, like, keep relevant or something.
So that was the case with the standard format that was primarily played by most players back in the day. These days, a lot of players don't play standard. Standard's the one that rotates, like new cards will come in, old cards come out. Now most players play Commander, and Commander you can use cards from any point in the game's like any point in the game's history. All you have to do is know what cards are good, and instead of buying a bunch of booster packs, you come onto my stream and you tell me, hey, my budget is $30. That's all I have. And I go, cool, we will build you a competitive deck for $30.
Oh, okay.
That's a thing we've been doing on my streams as well. Because one of my things I've been wanting to do is like, hey, if we're going to do this community night, there's going to be people coming here with like really strong decks. If you buy a pre-constructed deck from Walmart, that might not be enough. So I'm like, hey, we'll build decks cheaper than the decks at Walmart. And we'll build them and make them good.
Nice. See, this is what I'm talking about. You gotta think about your budget. You gotta be smart with your money so that you don't waste it, right? Like, you know, money is precious nowadays. I feel like we all keep having less and less every day. Literally.
Stoff in my chat was like, Cirrus upgraded his Zephyrus deck for me. True. I recommended one person in my chat, Stoffles, pick up a pre-constructed deck that I was like, there's a bunch of cards in that deck that are crap. They need to be upgraded. I was like, what's your budget? And Stoff was like, $15. And I'm like, awesome. We can make that deck really powerful for $15. Nice. And I know that, like, if you've played a lot of card games before, that sounds ludicrous, but that's not really ludicrous for Magic. You can spend $20 on a single land, or you can spend $15 on a whole deck. Take your pick.
That's actually quite nice. I didn't know this about Magic.
Yeah, it's as expensive as you want it to be. Which is the same way it is with VTubing.
Yes, exactly. Alright, so can you give us just like a very, very rough outline of how you would calculate a return and loss? Like, we know the general idea of like return and what a loss is, as in like, hey, we spent money, and what we get back is our return, and what we didn't get back is our loss, right? But like, how would you actually put that into like a sheet?
So it can be kind of difficult to do that because if you're streaming to an audience of 5 people and then you get a new model and you now are streaming to an audience of 10, it's hard to tell if that audience was just organic growth that would normally happen anyway, or if it's because of the model. So the best thing to do is to calculate just the returns you're getting from your stream and just look at the surplus you have from that. That's the money you can spend on improving your stream. If there's a barrier that is specific to your stream that you know is causing people to not be there, not one that you think like, oh, if I only had a prettier model. No, bullshit. People watch ugly models all the time. Don't. But let's say your audio is really crackly. That is a barrier.
Right.
Guaranteed,
nobody's gonna want to like hurt their ears, right?
Yeah, you will guaranteed get more people watching if you upgrade that microphone to something that is better. We have budget microphone suggestions later in the video as well. Like as an example, there's a Fifine microphone I put in there that is about $40. That microphone sounds clear and crisp. Tiny bit of tin, but for the most part, clear and crisp. That microphone is all you need. Literally the one I sent you.
I started with it, yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
I have improved on it since then, but that's what I started with. It's pretty good, and I use it as my travel microphone.
I got it as the company sent me one to review a couple years ago, and that's how I discovered that company at all. Was I tested out the microphone by using it for a video, and it was like a $30 microphone that was doing it was performing as good as my Blue Yeti did, and I was like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, screw the Blue Yeti. Sorry, sorry. I just feel like the Yetis are so like because that's what I got in the yeah, exactly. They're super overrated. That's what I got before that, but it was before I was streaming. And then I realized from like live stream, you can tell like for sure, like FIFA is just it's just. Like there's no reason to get the Yeti at that point. Anyway,
like I do have
stop
the Yeti.
Shitting on Yeti now. Okay.
I do have the Yeti listed as a mic to start out with for streaming because it is a simple mic to understand.
Yes, it is an easy mic.
It's good at doing what it's doing, but guess what? Even Yeti offers a cheaper alternative to the Yeti.
Yes,
exactly. They sell the Snowball, and the Snowball's like only microscopically different. Smacker says, "Where's the list?" I will.
I'm gonna be compiling this so that you guys have a document after the stream. It's gonna be posted along with the YouTube video, and I'm gonna also post it afterwards, like on Twitter and stuff.
Yep.
So we have a list of different equipment. It's just gonna be a little bit much, I think, if we like put it in the chat or something. We're gonna be giving you guys like the Amazon links and like other things like that, so you guys can see like what the equipment is. But yeah, we'll go into the equipment in more detail a little bit later. Okay, so you mentioned like it's hard to tell exactly for certain things, but the important part is to keep track, I think.
Keep track of how much money you're making from your stream.
Yes.
And how much of that money is superfluous money, like you're making enough from your job where that money's not having to go to groceries.
Right.
Versus how much of that money you're needing as supplementary income for your bills. Like if you're making $100 every couple weeks on streaming, that's not insignificant. That is a huge chunk towards a grocery bill. That can be your entire power bill. But if that streaming money is having to go that way, guess what? That's not model money. That's not money you can spend on new equipment. So at the very least, get your baseline stuff and stick with it for as long as you can. You can't really calculate how much a model is going to add to your stream in terms of the money you're going to get back from it. And because that's a thing you can't really calculate, don't try to spend money on a model trying to get a return on investment from the model itself. That was a gargle.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so about the losses then. So this is, I think, the thing that more people don't know how to tell, because this is not as easy to know, like, when you're overspending. It's not just about, like, because, like, you have your starting amount, right? I think there needs to be, like, a set, like, you need to have an idea of, like, where your limit is. Don't just be like, $5 more, $100 more.
That is a quick way to nickel and dime yourself out of money. Keep track Again, I suggested grabbing OpenOffice and grabbing the Excel spreadsheet from there. Keep track of how much you're spending on stream stuff. You may find that you've spent far more than you thought. Like, I know that I'm guilty of this. Like my VTuber Pappy the Lich opened up his commissions recently, and I was like, I just immediately popped in. And I was like, hey, I'm one of your commission slots. I don't care what I'm getting. I'm one of your commission slots. And like, that's a very impulsive thing. You can find yourself giving into impulse very easily. Keep track of your expenses. And I say this not just because it's for keeping track of your expenses so you don't overspend, but also if you start making a significant amount of money from streaming, I'm not giving tax advice. This is for legal reasons. I'm not giving tax advice. But if you start making an amount of money from streaming, it is taxable income, which means that your VTuber models and equipment that you spend on are taxable expenses.
Right.
Keep documentation of that, because if you get audited, you're going to need to go, I spent $50 on a fine mic
give me 1 second.
for this. Like, that's important. Becca says, damn, the fine is $80 here. Well, then see what the snowball is.
No, there's definitely cheaper ones. Like the USB one. Sorry, anyway. Yeah, there's other ones. There's varying degrees of it, and the cheapest FIFA one is still pretty good. But anyway, that's not the point of this. So yeah, about the taxes. Sorry, my thingy cut off for like just a second, so I just came back onto the Discord. But I believe you were saying that like you want to keep track not just for yourself, but also for legal reasons. You probably want to make sure that you're paying your taxes. Because at a certain level, if you're getting anything back, you probably need to pay taxes on it. You need to pay taxes on anything that you get money from, basically. So
yeah, and
figure that shit out.
It varies state by state. This is why I'm not giving specifics. Check on your state laws. Check, depending on where you live, the laws will be different. Figure out at what point you have to start paying taxes on things, and just keep an accurate record.
There's a lot of actual, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can probably call a lot of the places that do taxes like for money, and they have free consultation for certain things already too. So you can talk to them.
Very frozen on your stream.
Yeah, this is what I was saying. I think there's something weird going on with my Discord. Give me 1 second. It's not happy. There we go. I think that's better. Okay. Yeah, my Discord like pooped itself.
Oh,
but
it all died. There we go. So yeah, just whenever you are budgeting, get a program that will allow you to show everything that you're spending on food, groceries, gas, power, electric. Make sure that you've got all that documented. Look at how much you've got extra. When you're trying to figure out how much you're going to get a return on, your return on investment is your stream, not your model. You may, if there's a new game that you want to play, guess what? You will have no way of knowing if that game directly contributed to you growing as a streamer.
Yes.
So just make sure that whatever you are purchasing, it is out of your surplus funds. Otherwise, you're going to start amulet chasing, where you think, I got a new model and that raised the amount of people who were watching me. I need to get more new models so I can raise the amount of people that are watching me. You'll find yourself stuck in a very vicious cycle very quickly.
It's very true. This is why it's so important that you need to check in every once in a while. I highly suggest at least checking in with what your stuff is doing once a month. Something like that, depending on how often you make purchasing.
Which also gives you a very accurate representation of how much money you make from it. So keep an eye on that. And just biggest thing is keep track of everything. Write shit down.
It's not easy. I think especially for people who are just starting out, because for most jobs and things like that, the company or wherever you're working will do that stuff for you. When you're doing it from streaming and stuff like that, you have to take care of it. Like Twitch, for example, will give you the documents that you need, but like you need to go get them. Like go download them, go look at them. You need to look at this shit. So make sure that you actually look at it. And a lot of things try to make it a little bit easier for you to keep track of this stuff. There is software that you can buy to keep track of this stuff a little bit better if you'd like. For the most part, I would say if you're just a small-time streamer like me, you probably can keep track of it all on your own without any software.
Yup. Yeah, Red Joker says keep a folder of screenshots and sort it out later.
What?
I mean, that's kind
personally,
of...
personally, I don't recommend doing that. I think it's probably easier if you just write down the numbers in an Excel sheet, but you know, to each their own, I guess. If you can sort through it, have fun with the extra work that picture gives you. Okay.
All
anyway,
right,
besides people who do it the difficult way, like Red Joker 100. All right, let's move on to funner topics. So, we talked about picking a medium for being a VTuber. So, this is specific to being a VTuber streamer. So, how did you pick between being PNG, 2D, or 3D? Or one of the weird combinations of stuff?
So, for me, it was purely accidental. For those who might not know the history of how I even became a VTuber on my channel, I started out with a PNG that I had from that old Hearthstone channel. And I used that as basically a rant Sona for edited videos. And then eventually I swapped to doing live stream mostly content and then clipping from the live stream content to make my YouTube content, which meant that I was doing face cam a lot. And then a lot of people were like, Cirrus, you're ugly. I'm tired of looking at your face. Can you go back to the avatar? So I said, okay. But I want my avatar to be animated, so we're going to go into VTubing. And people had already gender bent me enough in fan art, so you literally used the fan art as reference to make the model. I sent the fan art to Remixin, and she was like, okay, I can work with this. So...
Nijikawa says you're not ugly.
So, basically, I found my way into this accidentally, but I know that there's plenty of people who have made the decision consciously, and the way you make that decision is going to come down a lot on budget. If you're trying to start out with Live 2D, guess what? That's more expensive. It's also harder to make your own model for it. That's why it's more expensive. Mm-hmm. You may not want to start out with Live 2D. You may want to start out with PNG, and then use that PNG as a character design for something later. Another cheap and sometimes free method of doing things is starting out 3D. I know it seems weird that like the 3D models would be cheaper, but the programs for making the 3D models have bases already built,
yes.
Usually. Vroid is what you usually would use for that. You'd build something in Vroid and then customize it to make it your own, and then you'd put it into a program called VCFace, which is also free. And there, congratulations, you have a 3D model. You spent no money on it. All you had to do was learn a skill. And that can be its own... You can even turn that skill into money later if you want. You could become a model maker. People pay for that. But...
Oh no, Davidia is saying I highly disagree. I'm going to assume that she thought that 2D was easier. I'm going to comment on this by saying that I'm pretty sure that Davidia is an artist and knows how to draw. So things might be easier for you and cheaper for you to do it yourself as an artist. But the vast majority of us can't hold a pencil and draw things that look nice.
Like if you've already got a skill for art,
yeah, I think
then
that's
it might be easier for you to...
It could be easier for you to do Live 2D.
Just learn doing parameters on Live 2D. But I'm assuming that if you have no skill, if you're just starting this out with... Your skill is playing Call of Duty and getting headshots. That's all you have.
Yep.
Then 3D is going to be easier to learn because it has the base models for you. Especially if you're doing it via Vroid specifically. If you're doing this via Blender and Unity, then have fun. I do not know how Monica does the magic that she does. I don't understand it. I just merely respect it. So...
I think that was a good overview of, like, in terms of expenses, how you could choose between PNG, 2D, and 3D. Another thing I want to get into is also just the capabilities of each thing. And I think when I went into it, I had no idea, like, in terms of capabilities, what was different. So PNG, of course, you're limited as a picture. So most of the time you have a few different expressions, maybe. if you have a very nice PNG setup so that it can show a few different expressions when you're talking. But it's going to be mostly a bouncing picture. So the picture will bounce and it could change when you open your mouth maybe, or when you have a certain expression. And depending on how sophisticated your PNG software is, you can have a few different expressions. Now with 2D, everything that you do has to be a picture that someone has drawn. So you do have smooth movements, right? So like I can move around, but since I was never drawn a backside or a side, I cannot turn 360 degrees.
True. I don't have a backside either. There's only an empty void
There's
back
only
there.
Exactly. There's only this side. I only have front. So
Like-
those are things that you want to think about. So 2D, it's easier for you to have custom art that is to your very specific style because it's just from a picture, and someone else will come in and then make the movements for it. But they can't make movements for stuff that they can't see. So it has to be a picture that has been drawn. So in that kind of way, most of the time 2D is limited to just front view and some limited actions because you might not have the pictures appropriate for it. So for example, I don't have hand tracking or arm tracking because they require additional art to be made that the rigger would need to incorporate into a 2D model. On the other hand, 3D, it's harder to get a customized look. Because what they do is they have like a default model usually that they work with, and then they chip away at it. Yeah, like V-Roids. Then they chip away at it, or they augment different parts of it to make different shapes. But the rigging and everything is similar. So because of that, there's pre-made software, things that already know how a body will generally move. So because of this, you have more flexibility in how you move. So if it's important for you as a streamer to be able to move your entire body or turn all the way around, 3D might be something that you want to consider instead.
And it should be noted that a lot of that is going to be reflected in your price.
Yes.
For you to get a lot more functionality out of a live 2D model, you're going to be spending a lot more money on that live 2D model.
Think about that. You need an extra picture that's like separately rigged.
Hand drawn.
Yeah, hand drawn and hand rigged, by the way. So that's the other big cost of live 2D. I feel like a lot of people spend a lot of money on their art and then don't spend a lot of time, like a lot of money on their rigging, and it shows.
They have this like super detailed model, and it's moving around like a puppet.
Yeah, exactly. It's not gonna move naturally. You need, I would say, if you're gonna spend money on something for a VTuber model like that's 2D, I would spend more on the rigging than you would the art. Because if you tilt your head and your eyes start bunching up, like that's not a good look. Your eyes start going cross-eyed when you turn more and more. It doesn't look good.
This one is a personal preference of mine. This is not necessarily gospel to agree or disagree with. I prefer getting my models rigged by the artist that makes them, because for me, when my artist is making a model, I know that they're going to draw the artwork with the intention of it being rigged, with the intention of it being able to do certain things.
Right, exactly.
And I know when I go back to my artist and I say, hey, I need an update, or I need a thing improved, or I need a new outfit, I like them being a one-stop shop. Even if their rigging skills are not so robust so as to give them the best rigging in the world, them knowing that, hey, I'm drawing this bit of lace knowing that it's going to be animated. I'm drawing this front part of a skirt knowing that it's going to flow. Like, there is a huge value to that. It's why my Virgin Killer sweater model that was made by Salem Sky, I specifically was like, no, I want you to be the one that rigs it as well as the one that draws it, because our original conversation was about just drawing it. I was like, no, I
know
wanted to be
how it's supposed to move.
Yeah. Like, I want you to be the one that does this from the beginning to the end, because I know that you'll make things with the understanding of how they're going to turn out on the end goal, like the end product. And that is going to end up running you a lot more money. It will, but if you're spending live 2D money, you might as well be spending good live 2D money.
Honestly, that is definitely something that you guys should think about as well. There will be a lot of artists that are really good at making a really nice picture. But if they have not a lot of experience with working with riggers, or they don't know how to rig themselves, etc., they could just not be splitting it up in a way that rigging can happen the way that you want it to look. And they have no idea that's the case because they've never rigged themselves. So make sure that you have someone that has made, like, has their model, like, gone all the way to the end before. I think that's actually super, super important. I know lots of artists that have made, like, the art for Live 2D, but have never had their models rigged. So they have no idea how it's supposed to look, or, like, what layers they're supposed to cut. And it's definitely, like, a learning process. Because, like, from my understanding, you need to cut it into, like, way more layers than you think you need to. And like what kind of layers to be cut into is also like very different. Like when I was looking at my PSD from my mama, I have like 2 different like sclera things and like different expressions for like eye closed, eye puff or something like that I don't even know that was incorporated, but it has to do with like the natural movement of my eyes. This is what I'm talking about. Like there's so many things that you don't even think about that are like sclera adds in like the white part of the eye. Like even that part needs to be like, it can't just be like white background. It needs to be like a separate piece of something there that they move around. So, and it has to be like sometimes multiple layers of it, even though it's just white, like right there. That's what I'm saying. Like there's so many things that you don't even think about. So it's best to get an artist, if you're doing Live 2D, that has worked specifically with a rigger before and you see what the final product looks like. Yep. Or someone that does both. I definitely agree with students that having someone that does both is very, very, very useful. Because they know exactly how their stuff is going to turn out. They know exactly what layers that they're making. And also, yeah, I think someone else was bringing up this good point. You know, the really scuff models that have really nice rigging actually look really nice.
Oh, yeah. No,
they look super nice.
I do have one model that is not only scuffed in the way it looks, but is also scuffed in rigging, and that was all intentional. Because there's a series that I do where I review a terrible movie called Anime Exposed. Actually, you know what? I will flip to that model real quick.
Ooh, let's see.
It was made by Pernia, who is an amazing artist that's done a lot of work for the channel. This was done as a piece of fan art and a joke functionally from them, and it's meant to look like the terrible series.
I love it!
It's meant to look like it.
Oh my god, I love it.
And it can do, like...
I like your baubles. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I can also censor my chest.
This is what I'm talking about.
This was...
Oh my god.
This was submitted functionally as fan art from Pernia, but it is like when I cover Anime Exposed now, I swap to this model because it looks exactly like the scuffed shit they use, and that was all intentional.
Oh my god, I love it. This is so perfect.
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like it's oh my god, look at the cutie. A cutie.
Now we are in slime mode.
So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You need to think about these things. And the other thing is, don't forget, because you know, budgeting and other things like that, while you're learning about content creation, you don't have to do it all at once. Do it gradually and learn about things over time. This is why you don't want to start big. I actually made the mistake of starting big.
You definitely start. Like
I
started out
way over quality than I should have, but I was really excited, and I'm also very privileged to have set aside a large amount of money for this. But I did do budgeting. I budgeted specifically to know how much money I can spend without hurting myself, and then made sure I never went above that ever, and it worked out.
Yeah, so the first model that I got was a very cheap for the quality that came out as bust up only model with very basic rigging. And that was the model that was done by Remixon. I found Remixon on Fiverr, and eventually, like, me and Remixon actually became friends, and I've bought more models from her since, and I've not spent it on Fiverr specifically. But it is. Why is there a whip?
I don't know. I don't remember having this here.
You don't remember having a whip.
It just happened. Someone just put it in my hands and it felt so natural.
Jesus Christ.
Ta-da! That's a good kitty. I have a little bundle of your tails right here.
Nope. Nope.
All right. So we talked to. Ah! There it is. There it is, everybody.
Now we're going to have to go full Virgin Killer Sweater.
Stomp. I'm doing small stomps. Stomp. Stomp. Moo has requested stomps. Stomp. There you go.
I don't know what I've walked in on.
All right.
Here we are.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We're like nearing the end of our time. Let's see. Let's just. I'm gonna move some stuff around just to.
Yeah.
So that I think, in terms of content, it'll work a little bit. Okay. So can we talk a little bit long versus short form streams? So there's a lot of different types of streams you can have. I think one of the biggest like separations is whether or not you do like long-term kind of content versus like short-term content. So can you talk a little bit about those different forms?
So if you're doing a let's play of a video game, that's probably going to be long form.
Yep.
Like you're probably going to sit down on that game for 5 hours and then you're going to stop. But if you don't have that kind of time, if you don't have the time to sit down and play through an entire game in a long session, you're going to be doing short form content. If you're making short form content, and by that I mean like short form streams, that's any stream that's like an hour or two, something like that. Whereas longer form is going to be anything that's 4 hours plus. You need to decide when you're going in which one you have the stamina for.
Yep.
If you have boundless energy, but you have it for only about an hour or two, guess what? You're doing an hour or two long stream, and then as soon as your energy runs out, you're raiding somebody else so that your audience is getting you at your best for as long as you can. Now, if you have a very low energy stream, like let's say you're an ASMR streamer or something like that, you can probably do for having a much longer stream than that because you don't need high energy levels the entire time for ASMR. In fact, actually, that's kind of counterintuitive to have super high energy for ASMR. So figure out how much stamina you have, figure out how much time you have without sacrificing what you're doing in real life. And
this is very important, guys.
Your real life comes first.
Yes, your real life always needs to come first, okay, guys? There's two, like, it's so easy to just be like, all right, let me just go down the VTuber rabbit hole and never come back. No. You need to eat. You need to sleep. You need to go to work if you need, like, other money and stuff. Like, you need to hang out with, like, in real life friends. Like, you need to do those things for your own sanity. If you don't take care of yourself, honestly, it's probably bad for your content.
But depending on which version of stream you're doing, you'll also have to apply a different strategy for putting your stream out onto more platforms. So what I mean by that is, if you're trying to stream and your goal is to do this as a job, let's say that's your goal, then guess what? Your goal is not to be a streamer. Sorry, you're not making enough money. Go away. And I'm not saying that to be mean. Even if I look even at my numbers, I do this full time. If I look at my numbers, I could not survive off of just streaming. It would be impossible.
It is impossible.
It's
up and down way too much.
And I'm a partnered streamer. Like, I cannot. So this means you need your content to do double duty. You need to have content that's going out on a place like YouTube that will hold it forever. And if you're taking that content from your stream, all the better. So if you're doing a short form stream, guess what? If you're doing an hour-long stream, you can probably take that stream as it is and move it over to YouTube when you're done and just have it as a video. Boom. Problem solved. Guess what? Twitch also just reworked their partner agreement. So you're not having to have the 24-hour exclusivity clause anymore.
That's right. We can post shit as soon as it happens or co-stream now.
Yep. Well, we can't co-stream. We can't.
Oh wait, I thought someone was saying. Oh no, sorry, not co-stream. You can stream on other platforms now after you get partner. Like before, it used to be like if you stream on Twitch, you can only stream on Twitch.
Yeah,
or it has to be like private or something if you're like streaming it somewhere else.
Yeah, so now you can stream on other platforms, but you can't do it at the same time unless it's like TikTok. You can stream to Twitch and TikTok at the same time because they're not considering each other competitors. But you can't stream to Twitch and YouTube because they are considered competitors. So if you are doing a longer form stream, you're going to have to employ the strategy that I use to make your content go onto a place like YouTube. When I know that I'm going to talk about something that should be a video, I have a record button that is hotkeyed. I click that button and I make a recording on my end, and then I turn that recording off when I'm done talking about the thing I want to talk about. That content goes up onto YouTube. It's easier to do that recording during a 8-hour-long stream than to try to find the thing you talked about in the 8-hour-long stream. And also, if you've got background music, guess what? Twitch is going to DMCA you. They're going to cut audio out of your stream.
And they don't care if it cuts out your voice.
It will cut out your voice as well. So guess what you're going to have when it goes up onto YouTube? An area of blank audio. Guess what that's not? It's not good content.
I always say this. This is why you make local copies, yo.
Make local copies of your stream. Make local copies of the individual parts of your stream you care about. And when you do that, you will have content that can go up on YouTube. And guess what? If you've got little bits of that content that you thought were really cool, cut those out in an editing program and put them on TikTok or make them a YouTube short. Guess what? The goal is to work smarter, not harder. If you are doing longer form content, cut it into bits, put it onto YouTube, make sure that people have something they can look at. Because guess what? They're going to come to your YouTube. They're going to see content that's been there for weeks, months, years. They're going to binge that and then go, I'm out of content. Where can I find more? Oh, wait, I could go to their stream. Guess what? Now people are discovering you through YouTube. Like,
definitely
this is why
you have to.
Your job, if you're trying to do content creation as a job, your job is not streamer. That is not your designation. Your designation
is why we call it content creation.
Your designation is a content creator. Yeah. You are making content and it is going up to multiple platforms. You are not putting all your eggs in one basket because you are ideally a very responsible adult.
This is a very good segue into the next part. The last big topic that we're going to talk about. I'm going to save all the rest of this. Is going to be just like a list of links and equipments that we're going to show you guys. I'm going to put that at the end. Before that though, we talked about distinguishing between a hobby versus a career streamer. So there's going to be different things that you think about when you do it just as a hobby versus when you're doing it as a career. So this is a very good segue into that. We already kind of touched a little bit upon it. Basically, you want to think about, of course, like how much money and what kind of ways you can increase that money, right? So in a career streamer, you need to consider lots of other factors that you probably do not when you are a hobby streamer. So yeah, Suda's gone into like a little bit of it. Is there anything? There's a lot of other factors. Can you divulge us these details?
So if you're a hobby streamer, you are hopping onto stream to hang out with randoms on the internet or even a group of friends, and you're just broadcasting you shitting around, talking about things you care about, playing games, etc. View it the same way you would view getting into a trading card game or the video game hobby you already have. You don't spend $300 on video games because you just need to do that or you won't survive. You won't make it the next thing. You're doing that because there's video games you want and you want to play them.
Yes.
You're viewing your purchases through that lens, through the lens of somebody who is purchasing something because they want to. If you're trying to do this as a career, that stops right now. You are no longer viewing your purchases through the lens of somebody who is just wanting a new thing, a new toy to play with. No. Now you're looking at this like a business. Now, if you want a brand new VTuber model, it isn't, oh, I really want that. That looks neat. Now it's, can I afford that? And if the
Yep.
answer is yes, I can, but that there's a
it
but at the
good?
end there.
Yep.
The fact
Is
that
it
there's a
good
but
for
at the
you?
end there is enough to say don't.
Mhm.
If this is your career, your job is now to look at any expense you make and go, can I afford that with the surplus that I've made from streaming? When it's a hobby, you are making money at a job and you are sinking that money into a hobby for fun. When it's a career, you are taking the money from that career to reinvest in the career, which means you will inevitably have less money to spend on streaming. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it's not
true.
untrue because you're
It's
looking at
true.
you're looking at returns on investment. If you're looking at returns on investment, not just do I want this thing for fun? Because guess what? If I want a $400 dual disc to take to a cosplay convention, then I'll probably get that for fun. If I can afford that one day magically in the future, I'll do that because that's a thing that I want. But if I'm looking at a $400 VTuber model, guess what I'm going to have to figure out?
Mhm.
How easy is it
Yeah.
to work that model into the rotation of what I'm doing?
Mhm.
Will I earn anything from that? What content can I make that this model enables that I couldn't do before? I'm having to consider all that shit because now you're looking at it through the lens of a business. Spend only what you can afford based on the money you earned from the stream. You want streaming to be a career and you've got 10 viewers who are watching you consistently, you have an amazing 10 viewers. Cherish them, but also understand, unless one of them happens to be a sugar daddy, you are not making enough money from those 10 viewers to afford a $2,000 VTuber model.
Yeah.
You've got a PNG model and it's working right now. Stick with it for as long as you can.
Mhm.
Because it's not a hobby, it's a job at that point.
Mhm. You have to consider like how the expenses are going to affect you, right? And it's even more important, of course, if you ever get to a point where you've diversified correctly and it has become your main source of income. It becomes even more important. So I know Sudis has talked about it a little bit. I don't think people realize how volatile a lot of content creation money is. It is actually very, very, very volatile. It goes up and down all over the place. Viewership, I'm sure you've seen on Twitch, goes up and down all the time. And don't forget that viewership being up also doesn't always equal money going up.
Yep.
Which is like a huge thing actually that people I don't really think consider very much.
Having 1,000 viewers doesn't mean if 10 viewers earns you $5 a stream, having 1,000 viewers does not mean you're making $500 a stream.
Yep. Most definitely. It depends on your viewers, depends on the kind of content, you know, like, and you also need to try to brainstorm ways like on your own how to increase like the money spent on your stream too. Like you need to think about like, okay, is it worth it to have the sponsorship? Yes, it's flattering to have a sponsorship, but does it help you? Does it do anything? Like, are you actually getting any income from it? Like those are all things that you want to consider.
That's actually a thing. So very important thing to note. If you are being offered a sponsorship as a streamer and they say, hey, I can send you this sample of the thing. Could you review it on your stream? Don't. Here's why. Companies all the time will try to offer you something for free and say, will you review our thing? No. The answer is no. Your time is worth money. If somebody's offering you a sponsorship, go, I have an audience of 100 average viewers.
Mhm.
What is that worth to you?
Stream! Suck my clit.
That is like anytime I get a sponsorship email, I literally will go, I have 46,000 subscribers on YouTube. What is that worth to you?
Exactly.
What is that number worth to you as a company?
Mhm.
Not send me this cool black light that you think is the best awesome thing in the world and you can use it to tell the terrible stains that have happened on your mom's covers. Don't think, wow, I really could use that thing. Go, if you want to send me that thing so that I can review it, fine. But please also understand that this is my time.
Right.
What can you offer
That's
me?
literally what they're trying to buy. right? They offer these things because it's easy for for those of you who don't know. So like when these companies send out these things, their mindset isn't like, oh no, I'm parting with my product, I'm giving it to some worthy streamers. They're trying to feel like, oh, we have a lot of surplus crap, we can probably give it to a lot of different people, and it's like free advertisement. All we have to do is send it to them, and then they'll talk about it on their stream. So even if each person only has like 10, 15 viewers, it's a lot of free advertisement for like people to see this stuff. And then in the end, because your commission rate is usually quite low, depending on like who you do sponsorships with, I think a lot of these affiliate things, basically anybody can sign up. You can literally go on any website and be like, hey, I want to be affiliate person for this, and it's basically you get like, what is it, like 5% maybe of like your of like whatever you sell under your coupon code or something.
Yeah, sometimes
it's not a lot.
it can vary.
Yeah, so like obviously if you like are more involved and you have a better deal, this is what I'm talking about. You need to think about like how it gives you a benefit as well, because your time is your money as a content creator.
Yeah. So like here's another thing. Make friends. I know I said that like streaming is not a way to make friends, but this is a make business partner friends type of deal.
Right. Networking.
Network with people who are about your size, so that when you get a sponsorship offer, ask your friends that are of a similar size, hey, if you got a sponsorship from this company, how much did they offer you?
Yes.
Guess what?
Yes.
Like never be afraid to share financial information with other people around you. I know we've got a stigma, especially here in the States, with like divulging financial information.
No, you can't say that. That's rude.
No, don't
we
tell
need
people
that shit.
your
Knowledge
paycheck.
is power.
Yeah, knowing how much a company offers you,
dude,
is
there's
important.
like so much more leverage if nobody knows what other people are earning, obviously everybody's gonna earn less. Come on.
Yeah, like if
who benefits? Obviously the company.
There was one company who sponsored me years ago, and their sponsorship amount was about $200, which sounds like a lot, but when you think about how much money that company has for their advertising, it's really not. I talked to a friend of mine who got a sponsorship from the same company. They were offered a much, much higher amount. It made it to where I was not willing to work with that company again.
You're like, fuck that.
until they offered me a very substantial amount later on down the road.
Don't forget that you can negotiate. Yes.
You always have some wiggle room to negotiate. Make sure that you are not getting taken advantage of. These deals only work when both parties feel like they came out of the deal getting more than the other person. Which means that company's goal is to always make more off of you than they are spending on you.
Exactly. Essentially, all these, like, a lot of sponsorship things that we see on Stream Elements and other things like that, you only earn when you give them something that they definitely want, right? And it might not be a great deal a lot of the times.
And bear in mind, there's websites that will do the negotiating for you based on your numbers. Stream Elements will do. Yeah, Stream Elements will do it. You can get sponsorships through Stream Elements, and they will do it based on your channel size and previous sponsorships.
Wait, I didn't know they adjust. I thought everybody got the same deals on Stream Elements. I thought it was very generic.
So it is very generic, but it's also based off of your size. But bear in mind also, like the deals on Stream Elements, they're curated based on a combination of sponsorships you've taken in the past, your current channel size, and the amount of return they can get from a certain amount. Usually, as an example, one sponsorship that I had a cap of like, if you get 90 people in, then you'll earn this amount. But then when I was reapproached by the same company about 3 months later, they had upped the cap to 120.
Ah, I see.
Stream Elements is a bit... Yeah, Stream Elements is a bit...
Nudge.
Yeah, they're a bit different and a bit weirder with how things work, because they do have to send them out to people like that. There's also Matchmade, that will allow you to you throw your channels analytics in, and then it will send out basically beacons to a bunch of other companies, your standards like your Raid Shadow Legends, your mobile game companies.
Oh my god! Speaking of sponsorships, hi, Marky. Hi. Hell yeah!
Fair
Let's go.
enough.
15 months. Let's go. In case you guys didn't know, I don't know if you know about Market, but they're one of the first people that believed in me.
Oh.
They believed in me when I was a ton of person. And then they're like, oh, okay, we'll do your merch. And now look at them. Now they're like the main VTuber merch people. How did this happen? I was back in the day. There was only like me and Yeun. We were just like, hey. Yes.
Actually, that begs the question. I can't say the first part of that name because
you don't use ooh.
I don't.
You little
I
fuck.
don't. But
You little fuck.
we'll ask, do they do Opie mouse pads?
Not yet.
Damn. I say
Oh
that
my
because
God.
I have a design for them that I'm trying to get that I'm trying to get done. The artist had the design done like 6 months ago.
Wait, but Dockies. Dockies are coming, yo.
I have Dockies through Cuddly Octopus already.
Then you should also make them through Ooh Market.
Ooh.
Ooh Market makes them with better quality materials. Let's go.
Oh. If so,
And it
then
costs you nothing.
If so, then we need to talk.
That's what I'm talking
We need to
about,
talk.
baby.
We'll send me a DM.
Ooh, Marky, do you know Neko Sudis, by the way? Neko Sudis is amazing. I love Neko Sudis. Neko Sudis is a VTuber that kind of does a lot of YouTube content as well. Does a lot of talking. That's like their main thing. Talking serious topics, and I like to tune in. Every time I listen, it's like the best podcast ever of like random shit that I care about. There's a lot of stuff on like LGBTQ issues, about the politics, about random philosophy things, and then every once in a while, some gaming.
True.
They're very, very, very cool. Definitely check them out, please.
Yeah,
and they have a dedicated, and they're a full-time streamer. So you know they serious about that moolah. So that's right. They have a dedicated audience.
Time.
So definitely check them out. But yeah, Dockies. I can definitely see that. This is actually for sure. Like, I'm not saying like anything just because I'm sponsored by them. But like, seriously, the most comfortable clothing I've ever had that is like merch is from Ooh Market.
Oh,
it is expensive though, but it is honestly the best feeling.
That gives me an idea. I could check with one of my artists for Mixin. She loves doing outfit designs. I could see about getting hoodies that are designed to be close to the outfits that my model wears.
Yes,
or like
yes,
reminiscent
yes.
of them. And then if Warwords market,
That's
gonna make
it. Oh my god.
I can't. That's gonna make communication so difficult.
Oh my god. You're the worst.
Yes,
the person that I talked to is Pharaoh. But there's like lots of people at the company now. They've grown so much in the last year. I'm so proud of them. You're doing so much better. Anyway, sorry. That was a weird side moment. We were talking about VTubing and streaming and stuff. Okay, I think we're nearing the end of this section. The last part that I want to go over is I'm just going to show a bunch of links on the website, on these different websites, to just show you about different things that you can use in terms of software or hardware equipment for streaming, and maybe some suggested sites for certain things. All right. Are you ready to do this? You don't have to be here for this part, but this is your list, so I feel bad.
I will be here for this because I want to give reasoning behind the stuff that I've selected on the list.
Okay.
So to start out with, if you're trying to stream, you need streaming software. Best streaming software, OBS. Just hands down.
Hands down.
Like
hands down, this is the best. I don't care if you guys use slobs. Shut up. Shut up about slobs.
Yeah, OBS is more robust. It has more functionality with plugins. Speaking of plugins, if you are using OBS, you owe it to yourself to use the StreamFX plugin. that adds so much to your streams. You have no idea. It makes life just start out having it, and even if you never use anything from it, you have it. So if you're curious about something you can do later, you'll be like, oh shit, I already have that installed. I'll just run with it. Also, if you are streaming, please make an account on Stream Elements. I did mention that they are usable when it comes to one huge thing, and that is their chat bot. Their chat bot their chat bot is super helpful. Alternatively, you can also use Nightbot. Just take your pick between the two. I use Stream Elements because Stream Elements is also where I happen to have, sponsorships and stuff come from. So I do that as well as everything. But I did used to use Nightbot. Both will work. But I did mention that you need to have your content go up on YouTube as well, which means you need thumbnails. You can't just throw your stream up on there and be like, it'll get 1 million views. That's not going to work. You need to be able to make thumbnails for your content. So if you want to make them for free, there's 2 programs to suggest. One is Krita, the other one is GIMP. Not that kind of GIMP, you dirty-minded fark. But
all right, sorry. Let me pull up each of these separately so you can see. So you said Krita. This is Krita right here. Ta-da! Krita. Very, very lovely. I have not personally used it, but I have heard of it.
I have a lot of artists who swear by either Krita or Clip Studio Paint, but I'm only throwing up free options right now, and Krita is a free option.
These are free!
Yup.
So another free one that you talked about is GIMP. I actually have personally used GIMP before. I've used GIMP quite a bit.
Also, if you are trying to get your content on YouTube, you are going to need a little bit of editing because you want to have like a nice clean opener for your videos when they go up onto YouTube, because it's a different environment. People are expecting a little bit of polish. Twitch is more about scuff. I don't care what anybody says. Twitch is the environment of scuff. You don't want that scuff when it goes up on YouTube. So what you want to do is you want to go and get... There's 2 options I would give. One of them is HitFilm Express. The other one is DaVinci Resolve. If you're used to like the Adobe suite, DaVinci Resolve is probably going to be the best option for you. But I used HitFilm Express for years before switching to the Adobe suite myself. But these are the 2 that I would recommend over anything else for learning how to do video editing.
So this is DaVinci Resolve. So fancy.
Yeah, I like it. I said open in your chat. DaVinci Resolve is absolutely incredible at the price point of free. Yeah, it is.
It is very, very. And so here is.
Yup.
There you go.
Welcome to the stream.
Now,
baby.
when that content makes it onto YouTube, you need to know how to figure out how well the content is doing and how to tag your videos and all that other fun stuff. That's a different skill for a different video, but the 2 bits of software that help with that are plugins for your browser. One of them is vidIQ, and the other one is TubeBuddy. Together, they will give you information on how well your video is ranking in search, which tags you should be using on your video, how well your video ranks against other people who are doing similar content. That's what those are for. They will help you figure out if your content is doing well or bad and why.
Look at this. Look at all this shit you can look at.
And then the other one, TubeBuddy. This is one that I was recently trying to figure out. I've not actually used it yet. But this is another one. There you go. TubeBuddy. So a lot of these things have like paid things. Just remember that the free one is also good.
The free will get you as far as it needs to.
Mm-hmm.
I have never paid a dime for those programs, and yet I've been doing this as a job. So
exactly.
They'll carry you as far as they need to. Now, equipment-wise, if you're trying to be a VTuber, you are going to need a bit of a hardware investment depending on what type of computer you have. If you have a desktop, you need a webcam. If you have a laptop, you have an integrated webcam. You can ignore this part because you have an integrated webcam. You've already got what you need. Just get good lighting. You're fine.
Just get good lighting. Okay, go.
But if you are looking for a good webcam to start, a Logitech C920 or a Nexago Both of those will work. Logitech C920 is more expensive. It got more expensive because of the pandemic. The Nexago is the budget alternative to the Logitech C920. For those who know the cat cam that I use and the cam that I use when I'm pointing down at my magic cards when we're doing game night, that's a Nexago camera that I use.
So here's Mexico. There you go. See?
Both of those cameras will work equally well with any VTubing software.
And don't forget, if you already have an iPhone, use your iPhone, please, because your iPhone is always going to be best.
So
don't go webcam.
The non-budget alternative is an iPhone. You cannot use an Android for it. You can, but it's going to be as good as your webcam, right? No, not Android. So iPhone has an IR sensor that does depth tracking, and it's a technology that is unique to the iPhone in the way that it is integrated with VTube software already. Android that has a webcam or a camera that will operate similarly will not work because it is not going to be compatible with things like VTube Studio in the same way that the iPhone is.
You don't need to get like an iPhone that actually works as a phone. Remember that. If you're just using it for tracking, okay?
Yeah, just get an iPhone.
Just get an iPhone without all the other shit.
Yeah.
It will be cheaper, I promise.
Now, here's the thing. A thing to note. If you are getting an iPhone for your tracking, please tell the person who is rigging your model that you are using an iPhone for tracking, because if you are using an iPhone for tracking, they are going to have to employ different techniques.
Yes.
Especially for 3D. For 3D, your rigger is going to have to install an AR kit through Unity onto your model for the iPhone to be able to register the damn thing at all.
Yep.
And if you're doing 2D, then there's extra things like sticking your tongue out or puffing your cheeks out, tilting your mouth back and forth that are only possible using an iPhone. Make sure that your rigger knows so that you, who just spent a ludicrous amount of money on this piece of soft and hardware, can actually utilize it well. Don't pick up an iPhone and then get a model that can't take advantage of it in literally any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, there's no point. You should definitely get your actual bang out of that buck.
Yeah, like if you're starting out VTubing, just go with a Nexago or a Logitech camera and get, just like a waist-up model or even a Vroid model, or make the Vroid model yourself. You can do all that for a shoestring budget or free. If you're spending money on it, though, please make sure that the money is being spent well. I literally paid, because I got my models when I had webcam tracking only. When I got iPhone tracking, I went back to the artists behind every one of my models and I said, how much money do I have to pay you to add iPhone stuff to my model?
And they're like, what?
And paid them again.
Yep. You want those things. And for those of you, I don't know if this is the case for some of you guys, but some of your art and rigger mama papas, they might have learned how to do it within the amount of time that you've had your model. Sometimes they offer discounted prices to update, if that makes sense. So for mine, for example, I didn't have tongue out at first because it wasn't something that was available on iPhone when I first started. But then it was updated later and they added it for free for me.
Hey. Always have a good relation. Always have a good relationship with your artist or your rigger, because guess what? If you want to do YouTube, and Twitch as a career, then that person, they control you.
This is why I went with the same people, because I'm like, fuck it. It's so much easier if you just go with the same people. It really is, though. It's so much easier.
So
because there's so many things you get attached to on your model. You're like, I don't want to let go of this. I don't want to do this. I want this.
And if your model and rigger are the same person, then they can go, yeah, you don't have to give any of that up. I can work with you. But here's the thing. A very important bit of info for the cat that is meowing currently. The most important aspect for your stream, this is whether you are a VTuber or whether you are a flesh tuber. Either way, get a fucking ring light. Get good lighting. You can have the most expensive camera in the world, but if you do
but
not
if they
have,
can't see you, it doesn't matter.
no, it's not even if they can't see you. They could see you
No,
perfectly
like
fine.
if it can't be tracked and shit, like if they
Yeah,
can't see
like,
your face.
Your camera needs a sufficient amount of light to work
Don't
with
stream in the
to
dark.
perform well. Please.
Sorry, I just
Turn
realized there are
your
people
lights
that
on.
do that. I was like, oh no, because like it's really obvious. I think when you can tell like the tracking's like completely obvious. Like, oh shit, got to turn on all the lights.
Yeah.
Turn on the things.
Like any
This is
any
easy
kind,
shit, dude. Like, all
any
you have to do
kind
is
of
like
light.
get a ring light. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be a ring light, but ring lights are easy.
You can. Amazon has studio lights for $25. Those will work too. You can use a desk lamp as long as it's sufficiently bright. But my best bit of advice would be to use a ring light, because a ring light is designed for you to put a webcam or an iPhone in the middle of.
Exactly. Look at that. It has a
And
space
it will just-
right in the middle.
It will do that job for you. Soft says there are budget ways to make ring lights. There are, but ring lights are also. You can get a ring light for $15 at Walmart. You can get a ring light for $20 on
It's
Amazon.
so cheap. And
They're
it's
already
exactly
budget.
around the camera because that's where you will need the light. It's perfect.
But as we're getting into the next bit of equipment, if you go the iPhone route,
Right.
you need a way for your phone to sit. For me personally, I use what's called a gooseneck arm.
This is the one I have. Except mine is pink.
You use a gooseneck arm as well?
I do.
Yeah.
Mine is a
So-
pink one.
The thing with a gooseneck arm, this is an arm that is very flexible. It's very hard to bend though, so once you get it into place, it stays in place. I have it clipped to the back of my desk, snaking between my monitors and towards my face. That is something that you could do with a stand, but
It's not
gooseneck is-
easy unless you have a gooseneck. Yeah.
yeah, it's not super easy to do with a stand, especially because your phone needs to charge, and if your phone's sitting on a stand, guess what? It's probably
You
not
can't
gonna
do shit. Yep.
It's a gooseneck has the ability to just snake your charging cable through it. It's super helpful. Please do. The next bit of equipment we already talked about, mics.
Yes.
The budget.
Oh,
the
entry mics. We got the FIFA.
Yep, and then a blue snowball from Yeti. Those are the
Yep.
good budget entries into the mic area.
So here's the pretty standard one, the USB FIFA one. They call it a gaming mic because it lights up. It's so pretty. But there's also the cheaper. There's also cheaper ones in this. There's also more expensive ones in this. Of the
Yep.
FIFA.
Fifine, their
variety.
entire shtick is providing good podcasting microphones at a budget. That's like their whole thing. So just shop around at what they have. They will have something for you. I guarantee it.
And then here is. Oops.
Also, it should be noting the microphone is the most important bit of equipment you have. Like,
Yeah, because that's the thing that people will definitely be looking. Oh, and here's the Yeti, the blue Yeti. What happened?
Yep.
It's usually blue. Why is this one black?
yeah, Yeti and Yeti Snowball. That's the cheap version of the
Yeah.
blue Yeti.
It looks like a
and
little fan.
I would highly recommend getting one of these to start out with. If you are a stickler for better audio, you could also get an Elgato Wave 3. That's the mic.
Those are.
That's the mic that I use. I use a Wave 3. And then there's also the full price Blue Yeti. But please, if you're getting Yeti, just get the Snowball. You're fine.
It's the quality is about the same.
Yeah. The
right, here's
Yeti
the
has
Elgato.
not. The Yeti has not changed in quality or function in the last 8 years, and that's good and bad.
I
So-
know this because I've used Yeti for a very long time. I used it when it came out and it looked like stubbier, but it's still exactly the same now. The quality is still like this. But yeah, this is the Elgato Wave. If you're ready to spend a few hundred or a little bit more over 100 for this.
But there's another important piece of equipment. If you are using a microphone, which you should be, do not use your microphone stand. Please, for God's sake,
Okay, this is actually so funny because I just brought up the Blue Yeti USB one. Don't use this stand, guys.
don't use the
Do you
the
see
stand.
this? Don't
Every-
use this stand.
Every
It comes with a thingy. Just put it on the thingy.
Every micro movement you make,
Oh my god.
it will travel through your desk into the mic. If you use the stand that comes with the microphone. That goes for every USB microphone. Do not use the stand. Do yourself a huge favor. Get a scissor arm. You can get them for $15.
Mm-hmm. Here you go. Here's a scissor arm. There's a bajillion of these. Pick one. They're all about the same.
Yeah, they're all gonna do you. I've been using the same scissor arm for the last 4 years. It's just a robust piece of metal that holds your mic separate from everything else. It allows you to move it this way and that. Please
Just don't be like me and bang on it all the time. I literally broke mine the other day on stream. It's usually very robust, I promise. It's just
why
because
you do this.
I don't know. I never thought that I would be able to break it, but I did.
But
I mean,
then
it's
you
still
did.
working, but I need to replace the nut on the side. So now it's just hanging on by
You
a
said
nail.
the nut.
No, stop it! Stop it, Judy! Oh my god, I swear to god. See,
But
look, it has a wide compatibility. Because it's generalized. It's so perfect.
so those are the very important things for your computer. But there's one other aspect of this that needs to be noted. Very, very important. Where the fuck are you sitting? If you're going to stream, guess what? Even
You need a comfy
short
chair.
even short form streams
Yeah.
are going to be several hours long. You need a comfortable chair. And I don't mean go out and get a gaming chair. Those
Gaming chairs
are
suck, by the way.
awful. They are
I don't
not-
understand the point of gaming chairs.
They are not designed for you to sit in for hours on end, and they will literally break down after a year of use. Get an office chair. 1, they are cheaper. 2, they are literally designed. They are purpose made for people to sit in for 8 to 12 hours a day on a desk shift. That is their function. That is their job.
It is true.
Get an office chair. I
See,
have
look,
listed.
this is such a simple office chair. Look at this. Look at it. It just has a little bit of mesh in the back, some little armrests, and a little seat. And if you sweat on it, it's gonna be fine because it's all meshy.
because it's got a mesh. If you desperately need a non-mesh chair, I've provided a non-mesh chair as well, but for God's sake, a mesh chair is going to help you. The only reason I don't have a chair like that right now is because the chair I have specifically gives a type of lumbar support that I needed for the subathons.
Ah. I personally like the ones that aren't mesh, but that's because I get cold really easily. And I stream
That's fair.
naked. So when you stream naked and there's a breeze all along your butt and your back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yup.
and I definitely recommend with armrests if you can.
Yes, you have no idea
They're
how
actually
helpful
very
those
helpful.
armrests are until you are sitting there for your 3rd hour of the stream and you realize that your elbow is resting on the armrest while your hands are sitting on your keyboard. Speaking of your keyboard, there is another thing that I have provided that is very important that you should use. I have
What is
also
a support item.
there's a support item for your wrists. You may not think that your wrists get tired and get hurt through long times gaming or doing anything, but guess what? They fucking do. Get a set of gel pads for your wrist. The difference is night and day in terms of like how comfortable you will be during long form. It is insane.
So this is especially important, I think, for people who actually do gaming. Anytime that you're going to be like holding your wrist for a very, very long time. Another thing that I highly recommend, I think people mistakenly put their mouse sensitivity really high because they're like, oh, I'm a gamer, I can like do things in it. It's actually really bad for your wrist. Don't do that. Because then you start only moving at the wrist portion of your hand when you're moving your mouse around.
Don't talk
And
to me
if
in my
you do that, you'll get
2800
carpal
DPI. What are you
tunnel
talking about?
really fast. So you can probably notice it. So make sure you adjust your mouse speed so that it's at a point where if you like move your mouse around for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, it doesn't get sore. So you can test it. And of course, I think we talked about this a little bit before. So with your chairs and stuff like that, make sure you adjust the heights of your screens and your chairs and everything like that, so that you're not straining your neck, you're not straining your eyes, you're not straining your arm. All those kinds of things will definitely wear on you as a streamer, because, you know, especially as a VTuber, you need to check like a bajillion screens, right? And you need to like move shit around all the time. I know, like, to the lame person, when you see us on the stream, like, you're just like, oh yeah, we're just here, we're just moving a character. No, there's like a bajillion screens we need to check to be like, all right, what's our model doing? What's the screen doing? What's that thing doing? Yeah.
I'm using three screens right now, not counting the iPhone that is pointed at me that I have to check when my calibration goes off, and not counting my phone and my stream deck and the drawing tablet in front of me.
See? Exactly. There's so many. So make sure that your stuff is in a comfortable position for all of these. If something is off, you'll feel it in your neck, you'll feel it in your arms, you feel it in your wrist, you'll feel it all over the place, and it's very, very bad for you. So just make sure, because like you don't want to get like long-term weird problems from this kind of shit.
No, you don't.
Da, 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 da. And then we have some other really good supplemental things depending on what kind of streamer you are. So here we have console gamer. So here's a thing for your capture card.
If you happen to be, yeah, if you want to do console gaming, you need a way to capture that game that you're playing, and Elgato HDS will do that job for you. The reason that I've picked that one specifically is it's virtually lag-free, which means that you can game on the exact same monitor that you are broadcasting to for your stream. There are other versions of the Elgato that have like a quarter second to a 2-second lag between when things happen on the screen and when you've inputted something on your game. That can make it impossible to play, especially multiplayer games. But in HD60S or an HD60X Plus, those specifically will allow you to just broadcast and play with no issues. I've actually like hooked my Switch up just to my PC and just played on my PC using that, and just treated it like another TV. But that's only if you're doing console gaming. If you're not doing console gaming, just ignore all that. You're fine.
Like me. I don't game. I literally only have PC. Okay. Alright, here's another one. If you're doing artwork, this is artwork starter. Let me see.
If you're doing artwork streams,
so this is for tablet.
There is a cheap Huion tablet that's about $40, and it is a very good entry-level tablet. It's the tablet I have in front of me right now. But if you want to spend more money on a stronger piece, a tablet with a screen is basically what you're looking for. There's a more expensive option you can get as well, and I've got that listed as well.
So here we go. This is the VAKE VK1200 11.6 inch drawing monitor. So yeah, this is a little bit more expensive, but from what I understand, it can help you. This is all dependent on like what you do too, right? So don't forget, if like you're not really needing drawing things, then there really is no point, right? But if you need it for stuff, if you need a drawing tablet, these are the ones you can try. All right, and of course the basics. We gotta do the basics. All right, we got VTuber basics now, because before this we were only talking about like streamer things. Now look.
Yep. Now it's gonna be if you want to make your own models for VTubing, which is a skill that you can definitely use and make a lot of money off of, and there'll be thousands of streamers depending on you for everything. Then the broadcasting software is VTube Studio for live 2D stuff. But to make the models, Denchisoft has their software. It is called Live 2D Cubism. And that is a software you would use for making your own live 2D model. If you're already good at art and you have a knack for figuring out programs and physics, then you're going to want to get Live 2D Cubism. That's going to do that job for you. This is how you can do VTubing for free. Just learn the programs that can use the skills you already have and apply them there.
So just remember that this software, you can try some things for free. but a lot of it is not free. Just remember that. For using Live 2D Cubism, if you actually want to use it for something.
So for Live 2D Cubism, if you're using the free version of it, you are going to be limited to either low resolution models or high resolution chest up models. So use it to learn.
Right, exactly.
It will help you
It's
there.
good for learning for free. And from what I understand, they also try to do a lot of different things to like kind of encourage the use of it, which is why you see in VTube Studio they celebrate a lot of different new functionalities and things like that as well. And they do a lot of deals with different VTubers and stuff like that. Be like, hey, can we use this model to like kind of do these things? And there's also, I don't know if anybody's actually done it, but you also need multiple of their downloads. It's not like one program. There's like different programs for test to see different parts of the Live 2D. Anyway, but that's only if you actually want to do Live 2D. Okay, so
There was a thing that It's Michael said. Can you repeat the question? I wasn't here. I was asked to know, do you have a butt? Vivi wants to know.
oh my god, I swear to god. I've been purposely avoiding Mike for this exact reason. Because I was like, I'm doing something right now. I'll talk about the butt later.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
So if you're wanting to do 3D, I mean, I'll show you later.
There you go.
So if you're
Here's
wanting to
VC
do 3D, you're going to broadcast through VC Face. VC Face is also free software. And VC Face, like Live 2D, can work with your iPhone, it can work with your camera, it can work with anything you use. And if you're wanting to make models, there's an easy way and a complicated way. Easy way is going to be through Vroid Studio.
Yep.
That's going to use a model base for you to build off of and sculpt. And that is what a lot of VTubers use because you can do that for cheap or free.
Basically free. It's kind of like playing around with one of those art game things.
Or
when you,
character
like,
model maker.
Yeah,
in
or
RPG.
like any of those things where you're like, hey, I want to choose these eyebrows. I'm gonna choose these eyes. I'm gonna make it this high, this low. That's what they do. Because it's like a preset model kind of with these parameters, it's already rigged and everything, so that's why it's so cheap in some ways. Like they already pre-made all the different options.
Soft says, is this
You
the
just
mic
pick which
that,
ones you want.
Is this the mic that Lulu is looking for? No, the mic that Lulu is looking for specifically has the last name Hunt, and we're not looking for him. We can't find him though. But don't think too much about that.
Oh my god. So one of the great things about using Vroid is that there's also, it's very easy for you to make clothing and customize it kind of. It's a lot harder to do that with Live 2D kind of stuff. Like you can't just like change your outfit every day. But Vroid and like 3D models with Vroid, it's pretty easy to change. Like, hey, I want to download this jacket. I'm just gonna put it on. You know, that happened. You can do that like right away.
Bear in mind, though, there is a limit because when you're using 3D models, most of the assets you use are going to come from a place called BOOTHE. There is a limit to the amount of assets you can take from BOOTHE and use on a model, and it's not a hard limit, but it's a there's a legal, like it's a legal thing.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just been using. Okay.
It's up to I believe through BOOTHE it's up to 6. Things can be taken from BOOTHE without having to pay for like licensing or anything.
What? I didn't know you had to pay for licensing. Oops.
So just keep an eye on the particular things that you take from BOOTHE. It's very important. And Tidal, thank you for the resubscription.
Thank you.
Now, if you want to make models that are completely customized, that is a journey that you are going to be going on your own. But you're going to be doing that journey with Blender and Unity. But if you're making models in Vroid, you're going to want to know Unity anyway, because guess how you get iPhone tracking on a Vroid model? You use Unity. So
that's Blender. And then this is Unity.
Avalon says completely unrelated. Does anyone know a lawyer?
Stop it.
But
there you go.
Yeah, Unity is going to be the very important thing to learn how to reset bones in Vroid, as well as doing things like iPhone integration into Vroid, and it's also a very helpful supplement when you are working on stuff for Blender.
And yes,
That's for making your
definitely you
models.
can pay someone to do it for you.
You 100% can.
You definitely can. There's definitely people that will be willing to accept money and then do it for you. I have done it for free.
I have been.
But I probably should have paid.
So, but that leads us into the last important bit. If you are wanting to throw money at someone, which you should, when it comes to art, because art is very important to pay for. So, where would you look for that art? There's 2 places I would suggest when it comes to getting models for and even other assets for VTubing. Primary one, probably Twitter. Like hands down.
I can't believe this is where everything is. When I found out and I was doing VTubers, I was like, how is this the main place? Twitter is the place, apparently, to get all your VTuber art. Excuse me.
Do yourself
My body's
a favor.
rebelling.
Look up the VTuber assets hashtag. You will be amazed what is out there for free that is being offered by artists for you. And as a bonus, you can use that so that you can find an artist that is already doing something you love to send money for to get you something bespoke for your stream. For me, I have a bit of a unique situation in which most of the people I spend money on art from are fan artists, but that's not everybody has a bunch of fan artists.
Not everybody has a bajillion fan students. Jeez.
My thing is just like, I'm like, oh my god, that fan art is really cool. Could I spend money to make you do it again?
No, actually, I completely agree. I think the more you shop around, the more you find like your favorite people for the price point that you like. And honestly, it's really good to follow the same artists and like have them do like repeat things over and over again. I think building that relationship is important. And I think like some people may not realize, but it's actually really, really nice to be able to talk to someone and they get like what style you like.
Oh yeah.
Because there's so many different things that they could do. And some people are just hard to work with.
I've had my my emote artist who does the most of my emote artists, who does most of my emote art, Mosh, specifically, like I found them on Fiverr initially and then started working with them, sending them repeat things like, hey, I need this, hey, I need this, hey, I need this. And they actually sent me like a long thank you message. Like, you have no idea how many people just do one and done commissions and don't return to the same artist to get more stuff. Establish a good working relationship with your artists. Trust me, not only will they be able to cut you deals in the future, or they'll let you know when their stuff goes on sale, they'll also probably put in more effort into the work that you do because they're going to go, hey, I like you as a person. I'm going to add a couple more strands to your hair and make it look that much more wavy, that much more detailed. They're going to care about the things that you are doing because you are being a good person to them. You have no fucking idea how many people abuse artists.
I'm not a bird.
Be the person
so
who
true.
doesn't. You would be amazed.
Be nice to your artist.
Stuff says sometimes they'll even hire you if you draw porn of them. You're a... Shut up,
Oh my
Stuff.
God. Why? Why are you like this?
I am not the one that drew it.
I don't know.
I
I feel
just
like
went-
the way you accept everybody with open boobage makes me feel like it's not that story.
How am I gonna find you in this fucking room?
Look,
You sure about that?
look.
Do you see what you're wearing?
I've literally bullied my artists into taking more money than they have offered for commissions.
Nah, I'm just kidding. No, for sure. No, I do think it's very, very important to establish artist relationships, for sure. The more that you get to know them, the better that you can like actually do the stuff that you want in more detail, and you can also help them and encourage them. So like, don't forget, like, as you get bigger, or like as you do different things, you can introduce these people to other people. And like, the more you guys build that relationship, the better it's gonna be for you guys.
So the last place, this is a useful place to find artists. Do not get me wrong, but be careful when you go here. If you are going onto Fiverr, you can find some very amazing work there. I hired Bonbonberry, Remixin, and Mosh, all from Fiverr first, and the person who does the animations for our channel intros is Nightwolf Nightowl Graphics, and they are also from Fiverr. All amazing people at the jobs that they do. But I have also been burned on Fiverr a handful of times too. The first times I tried getting a model from Fiverr, I got scammed. The person on there I got a refund from Fiverr, thankfully. But it was somebody who was using an established VTuber's videos as theirs, and I didn't know because I was new to the community. I had no idea. I found out later that was the case. My suggestion would be, if you find an artist on Fiverr that you like, find their socials afterwards, ask them for their socials if you like the stuff you got from them, and establish a working relationship with them off of Fiverr. Use Fiverr to start your working relationship with an artist, but definitely take it somewhere else.
Another thing they can do is make sure that they're a what do they call it? Like a top seller or like a recommended
tech
seller
reviews
on Fiverr. Like they actually do have ones where you can see like how many people they've actually done stuff for. So in that kind of way, sometimes people go to Fiverr, mostly, at least from what I understand, is to get cheaper stuff. And you get things in a more timely manner in some ways because there is like a website managing them for it. That tells you, because there's like time limits to like how long they can take on different things. So yeah, definitely talk to them outside, or make sure you've seen a lot of reviews. So if they're a person that's like a top seller, they're probably gonna be okay. But if you take like that $5 cheap ass something, you know, there definitely could be some scam somewhere here or there. So you really gotta be careful.
And this applies to Twitter as well. If somebody, so this is a thing you're gonna have to look out for on Twitter. If you say, "Hey guys, I'm looking for artwork for my VTube model," guess what you're gonna get? You're gonna get 15 bots. You're gonna get 15 bots. They're gonna come in and be like, "I could do it. Send me a DM." That is a trigger phrase. Do not trust anybody that says that. If they go, "Let me do it. Send me a DM." No. Do not take that person. They may be a real person on the other end, but there's bot software being used for them to grab you, and they're going to do work that is as quick as they can get it done because they're botting for 1,000 other people as well. So please, if you are looking for stuff, find an artist who is doing work that you like. The trick is to check their card. On Twitter, most reputable artists have what's called a card website. Click on that card, and on that website, typically they will have a list of their commissions, an example of their work, and testimonials from people who have gotten work from them.
Yep.
That is all you need right there.
This is why I always say, if you see like a Twitter artist, because there's like a lot, right? If they don't have like their own place where they put their commission info, I probably wouldn't take that. Because like it's very easy for them to just post a random shit like on their posts. But like if they don't have like anything worked out, if they don't have a TOS of some sort, because like then you know that they're probably inexperienced and they have no idea, or they don't care and they're just trying to scam people. There are lots of scammers out there that have taken copy and paste of like a lot of different art. In that vein, please don't post your own VTuber model split up PNGs or anything like that, because
they will get appropriated fast.
Yeah, they will be resold real quick. So be really careful about that. Don't put that shit on there. And of course, I think you guys all know this, but on Discord, there's been a lot of people that are predatory artists or fake scam artists that will DM you out of nowhere to ask you, "Hey, do you want to see my art?" And they'll just give you random stuff that they've stolen. And then hopefully they think one of them might catch your eye, and then you will commission them for something.
And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll message you directly saying, "Hey there," you'll find them in a mutual server of yours, usually a VTuber server. And they'll message you saying, "Hey there, I'm in a bit of a financial bind. I need X, Y, and Z, and I'm just trying to sell some art." And it's usually a sob story, and it could be legitimate. You have no way of knowing, but understand that it's also a type of scam that is used by these people. So
Oh,
just be
Chozo
careful.
has brought up another thing that I sort of mentioned before. When you do have a 3D model and you go on VR chat and you have transferred it, you know, the model correctly, which can take a while. Make sure that you don't go to any public places because they can just take your model. Because like that's kind of what VR chat does. Just a word of warning out there. So if you have something that's like, you know, proprietary, your own shit, copyright or whatever, like it's your own model, don't go to any public places. People can just like copy and paste your shit and download it. Don't do it!
You actually can set your limitations on VR chat.
Yes.
So that people can't do that.
You can set it so that you can't copy certain things or like have certain things enabled so that other stuff can be done with your model. I wonder if I should talk. No, let's not talk about that.
What?
But yeah.
Did somebody
Just be
appropriate
careful.
your model for the boing boing?
Okay. So someone is telling me, Oh Girls. I don't know if you know Oh Girls. Oh Girls is a 3D comfy streamer. Apparently you can mod it in a certain way so that you have fun times. And apparently there's specific settings that you can put in VR chat so that you know if they're like ready for the good times.
ERP
Anyway.
stuff.
Anyway, that's not the point. We're talking about scamming and like stealing right now.
You can scam an ERP.
Oh my god.
It's called blue balling.
Oh my god. Ah! Okay.
I have to corrupt the stream somehow. It's fine.
Anyway, I had a really great time talking about this with you. This has been really, really educational. I can't wait for us to put this together, put it on YouTube with all the links and everything. Hopefully everything will be clickable for you guys. It's going to be... it'll take a little bit longer than usual to like put it up on the YouTube, but I'll let you guys know when it's out there. It's going to be on both mine and on Sudes's YouTube channel. So I hope you guys enjoy. I hope it was very useful. Suck my clit.
Hopefully this will be enough of a giant information dump for anybody who's like,
Oh yeah.
I want to start streaming. Where do I start? Here. Boom.
Yeah, I think we provided a lot of different things today. I think it's gonna be good. I'm really excited. I basically did nothing and I just poked Sudes and went like, hey, talk about this. Hey, talk about this thing. I like it.
You'd said on Twitter, you're like, I'm thinking about doing a video talking about how to start out as a streamer. And I think I just like hopped in and just went, I could help.
See, it's not my fault. He volunteers. He volunteers to do work for free.
I sent the entire list of equipment.
You did.
And programs.
I remember. I was like, oh, okay. You were like right out of there. I was just gonna like talk about like, hey, this is VTube Studio. Look, I can put my model in it. And you're like, no. Here's an equipment list. Here's an expensive and like it's expensive. Like it was like a whole thing. But the thing is, I think it's actually super useful because Neko Sudes has gone through it. I think a lot of people think that there's only like kind of one correct way. You can kind of learn as you go, and it's okay. That's kind of thing is okay with streaming. It's not like other stuff, like I don't know, like having a restaurant or something. You don't have to get it right the first time, and then you'll fail. Like this, you can continue. You can like kind of like slowly grow, and it's fine.
Yep.
Just have a job while you do it.
Yeah, don't begin streaming looking at it as a job.
Yeah,
Look at it as a hobby first. If it was a hobby for me, and then it accidentally became a career.
When did you transition?
Well, the surgery was last month. I'm kidding.
Okay.
So what happened with me was I went to a YouTube conference where a bunch of YouTubers that I liked were speaking at, one that I had worked with on a collaboration. And one of them sat me down and said, do you want this to be your job or do you want it to be a hobby? And I said, well, one day I'd like it to be a job if that's possible. The first thing he told me was, okay, diversify your income. Make sure that you've got stuff coming in from more than just YouTube because it's not reliable.
Mm-hmm.
So I went home and made a Patreon. The transition for me basically was I was working at Aldi, and by the time I hit about 1,000 subscribers, which I was ecstatic about, I started being able to monetize my content, making a good $30 a month, maybe, which means I didn't get a payout until several months went by. But I had a little bit coming in from Patreon, which helped because I got fired from Aldi. For lack
I didn't
of
realize
empathy.
that was how the transition happened.
I
Because
had gotten
forced out of it.
it was I got fired for lack of empathy. That was the
Lack
exact
of empathy.
Yep.
What did you do?
A customer slipped and fell on a box that one of the other employees had left out, and when they complained to me about it, I told them to talk to a manager, and apparently that was enough. So, yep.
I can totally see myself doing that. I'd be like, well, fuck you. It's not my problem. Go talk to someone. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, so the district manager took me aside a week later and went, "Do you remember this incident? Yeah, we're gonna have to let you go." So after that, I tried doing YouTube full time. That was not doable at the numbers that I had, so I started working at a call center. I was only able to be there for about a month before I had to leave. A combination of the living situation we had. My partner Raz was also working at the same call center, and we were in the same area. Like we were working in the same living room, and that was apparently not allowed. Yeah, because it was a sitting at, like, it was a work from home thing. And after doing that, the last straw was they had me on a call with another employee, not another employee, a prospective buyer for their services, and they were in a hospital waiting for their brother to get out of the hospital, and I got a write-up for
lack of
leaving the call because they wanted me to stay on call and get that sale, and I'm like, I don't want. She's in the fucking hospital. No. So
this time we had too much empathy.
Apparently. So I ended up leaving there and then just focusing on my channel as much as I could. Raz, working as well, ended up helping a lot because we were making enough to pay grocery bills off of my income from the channel, and then Raz's was enough to take care of half of the utilities and the rent, which worked because we were living with a roommate, so the other half was taken care of by the roommate. But over time, it was just a very slow crawl of earning a little bit more on Patreon every month, a little bit more via advertisements every month on YouTube, until eventually it was just enough to take care of our bills. I want to say that it became enough to support us both on its own at about 20,000-ish subscribers. That was about when we were making enough to be not comfortable, but at least make it by. Before then, it needed to be both of us working. So not super great, but to give an idea.
Isotopian, did you say pay grocery bills off of my income? No, that. Oh my god, I hate you.
No.
My
yes.
income. I hate you all. Why are you like this?
But so the transition for me was a slow, organic one that I was forced into because of shit happening at the actual jobs I was working on. This is not how it's going to be for most people. Hopefully for most people, they get to choose when they switch and make streaming a career, if that's the angle they go for. That would be my hope. I don't want people to do what I had to do. That is not a fun experience.
You were lucky. I feel like that was very lucky. I mean, obviously you're also very talented, but I think it's very hard to be able to consistently get the money that you're getting with content creation. It is still volatile, even with, diversifying, right? There's
it
still,
is still
ups
volatile.
And downs, throughout the year.
Oh,
There's
I literally
seasonal, ups and downs.
I literally just had a channel strike on YouTube. And that just cut a week of my payment just out completely.
Oh,
so yeah.
My god. Oh, that sucks.
It was YouTube was like, "Hey, you did COVID misinfo in a video," and I went, "Did I? Could you tell me?"
Wait, what? Which video was that?
It was an interview with my friend Cooney, who's also a VTuber. What? So I scoured that video to see where the misinfo happened.
About COVID?
I scoured the video. There was a part where we talked about how like America versus Japan responded to it because
Oh my
Kuni lives in
God.
Japan, and that's about as much as I could find. So I messaged YouTube and went, "Hey, there's a whole public Twitter exchange between me and them, where I'm like, can you provide me the timestamp where I said the bad thing?" And they go,
Oh
"Our
my
content team reviewed it very carefully." Cool, and you should be able to provide me a timestamp for when it happened, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You were so careful. You should have this.
Oh my God, that's
Our content team verified. Okay, cool. So
The
you should know
YouTube-
when it happened.
Ah! Oh my God, that's so frustrating. I'm so
And
sorry.
they still have not told me where and when I said the thing. So tomorrow morning, actually, I have a video going up detailing what happened with YouTube going
Ayo.
through the public exchange.
Ayo, drama. We're gonna
I'm
have a
just like-
tea video, okay?
I'm just like, nah. My view on it is this. If YouTube's going to screw me out of a week of my paycheck, then I'm going to try to earn that back at their
Talking
expense.
about it. I love that. That's so good. That's a good idea. I can't wait to see it. All right, everybody. Don't forget to check Neko Sudis' YouTube channel. So their main one is Sudis Skeptic, not the Neko Sudis one. That's the secondary one.
Yeah.
So definitely go to that one instead. Let me see if I can. Where is it? VTubing. Nope, that is not the right one. I'm like trying to spell it out manually. Sudis Skeptic. Can I spell? This is the test. I think I spelled it correctly. Nope, I did not. I found your VOD channel. Wait.
Just type in Cirrus.
Oh, that's why. You have 3! Okay.
Diversify.
That's how you diversify. That's true though, actually. So like in case one of them gets down.
Well, because I have a type of video that goes out for patrons, where I just use Facecam and talk just in a VOD, not a vlog style. I'm like, hey, this is the stuff that went on in the last week. This is the stuff going on with the channel. Here's some interaction with me and the pets. So I have to have secondary channels to be able to show that content when YouTube strikes me, which is a fun scenario. Usually the strikes get lifted, but this time YouTube was like, no, we're keeping it. Okay, cool.
I'm just gonna
So
read you
you're
guys some of
approaching
the
me.
recent upload titles. We got here, I'm gonna show it on screen. Okay. Trump's big lie has huge consequences for democracy. These prophets say Trump won in a landslide. Marjorie Taylor Greene's new legislation is horrific. And this is exactly why I love your content. Like I'm looking at these titles like, oh, I want to watch that. Oh wait, I want that one too. Oh, I want to see that. It's such clickbait for Vivi Chan. It really is though. This is how I know. I was like, when I saw your content, like it was so random too. I was like randomly like browsing through like Twitch, and I think like at some point I fell asleep and it rated into yours. I think that's
Yeah,
what
because
happened.
you were watching Monica,
Oh,
and Monica
that's what
rated
it
into
was.
me.
Yeah, it was Monica. Oh my god. And then I was like, what is this? What is I like my ears like perked up. It's like, I'm like, oh. This is
Because I remember
stuff. I
you were
hear
like,
it.
you were just like, oh my god, is this stuff you talk about all the time? I'm like,
Yeah, I know. I was like, wait,
Yeah?
is this real? Like, do you guys like this all the time? Is it really? Cause like I've always I say this every time. I should stop doing it. I'm always like fangirling. Okay, anyway, sorry. Anyway, it's time to sleep. It is late. It is 12:30, and I have work tomorrow. And this was a lovely, lovely time with Neko Studios. Please, please, please give them a follow. They're really cool. We're gonna be releasing videos probably in the next week, I want to say, if I do this correctly. But knowing
that's
me,
awesome.
it might take me a little bit longer because I am dumb. But I think I can do it in a week. Okay.
bear in mind, and if you are ending stream, I am going to be ending stream shortly after this as well.
Oh, you want to double rate
Ja-
someone?
I was actually thinking about that. Yeah.
Yeah!
I was
Let's
thinking
do
about that.
it! Let's double rate!
Are you familiar With Jubyphonic.
No. Show me.
Okay,
How do you spell
so
it?
Juby
Juby
Phoni.
phonic
Yep. Underscore P at the very end.
underscore.
So Jubyphonic, she takes Vocaloid songs and then makes covers of her singing them herself.
Oh, cool.
She does, and she
I
does
like that.
amazing work where that's concerned. But she's also a VTuber.
Oh yeah.
So she is who I was planning on raiding after this.
Oh, perfect. Okay, then definitely.
Striker
Alright,
says,
I'm
so who's
gonna-
the Flame Dragon? Flame Dragon is Vivi Chan. You can use the collab
Hi.
command, and that will take you over to Vivi's channel.
Da-da-da-dum.
Michael
My
says,
name is
teacher,
Vivi
wait,
Chan
I've
the
got a
Dragon."
question.
I swear to God. He wants to know if you have a butt. Okay, now you can answer. What is it? Do you have a butt?
I'm turned to the side. You can see it very clearly.
I think he wants to know if you have a hole.
stream. Suck my clit.
Oh, no. It's only a half-ass. On both sides.
It's only a half-ass. Okay,
I've half-assed everything.
half-ass. All right, I'm gonna be rating over to this Jubyphonic P. And if you guys haven't yet, please give Sudis a follow. If you use exclamation mark collab, you will bring up it's my friend Sudis. Wow! Look at that.
And everybody who's on my end, use the collab command. That will take you over to Vivi Chan's channel. Please give them a follow as well as subs if you have the ability. That would be amazing.
Whee!
Because while I may have provided a lot of research for this video, the idea sprung from Vivi.
I just poke people. I'm like, hey, do this thing. I would like to. I would watch it.
I wanna- You didn't even poke me to do all the research. I just literally woke up and went, this is something we probably need. Vwomp.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually very true.
Welcome to the stream.
Oh, thank you guys so much for coming over and following. This is crazy. It feels like I'm getting bot followed, so I want to hate it, but at the same time, I'm like, it's probably from you.
Welcome to the stream.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
I recognize a lot of the names there. Smacko, Kidderdoodle,
Yeah, I saw them over
Grovelern.
there.
Yeah, you're safe for now.
Suck my clit.
Thank you! Thank you so much for following me. You guys are very, very sweet. I don't have any side boob, though. Is that okay?
Welcome to the stream.
Just remembering the fucking Siso song
That's
from
right, suck my
Nanners.
clits.
Remembering the Siso song from Nanners. Look at my chest, yeah, it's still flat.
Welcome to the
Shave my chest. Yeah,
stream.
it's still
Suck my clit.
I just been your mom. You can call me dad.
I love that song so much.
It's such a good song.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you for following.
Suck
You
my
guys are so sweet. Thank you. I don't have as many people on my side, but definitely head over to Sudis and give them a follow if you haven't yet.
Welcome to the
Size
stream.
doesn't matter. I'm not
Suck
here
my
for the
clit.
audience.
I'm so glad. Because I was worried when I first emailed you two. I was like, oh man, I don't know if they would ever want to do
Welcome
something
to the
with me, but I really
stream.
like this
Suck my
stuff.
clit.
I would just want to like sit here and like listen to you talk. Be like, wow, that's so cool. Why are you so smart? Oh, that's
Welcome
true.
to
Yeah, I
the
agree.
stream.
It's like literally me the entire stream. But now it's on stream! Now it's instead of me and the viewership like
Welcome to the
seat.
stream.
Now it's me
Suck my clit.
doing it next to you on the stream. I feel like I'm like your slideshow presenter. That's how it feels. I'm like, ta-da!
Welcome
Look,
to the
here's the
stream.
linky. Look at it! Look at
Suck
it! All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna be rating the lovely Jubyphonic _P, otherwise known as Juby. In their profile, they say, I sing Vocaloid covers and do professional VA for Sentai Filmworks. And they have a little card there. And apparently they're bad at games and they're here to just have fun. They are a... Let's see. Oh, co-hosts. YouTuber and anime VA. Okay, let me just make sure that we don't do anything bad if we raid in with a message. It says, don't be creepy, don't share personal info, don't bully, no harass, no hate speech or politics. No politics! Okay, we're gonna be careful.
Yep.
No flirting with the women, no spoilers or hints. I don't take cover song requests. Okay,
So it sounds like we can probably be lewd or crude, but not politicky. So this should be easy. All right, I think I spelled this right. Ba-ba-ba-bum.
I've set my message as dual raid. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
All right.
All right, and for me, I guess it'll be ooh, woo, 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 woo. The forbidden word.
Go treat Juby well.
Welcome to
She
the
does very good
stream.
music.
Suck
She's a
my
very lovely
cleat.
person. Have fun, everybody.
All right, guys. See you guys later. Here's the raid message. Let's go. Bye-bye. There we go. Da-da-da-da, turning off the stream. Bye-bye, everybody. I'm shutting it off.